I'm smart. You dumb.
When you think that you got what you think that you got, give it up, cause you're so dumb. I can make it go, make it stop, do a flip, do a flop, give it up, cause you're so dumb. You're so dumb, people never think they dumb. No, hell no, hell you got 3 fingers adding 1 + 1. No, hell no, hell no.
Girl, you're missing the meaning of life. Stop all the bitching and try to be nice.
Oh, listen, fellas, I'm a little bit jealous, cause it's easier to have fun when you're so dumb, da dum dum, da dum 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 dum, da dum. Maybe I'm the dumb one. When you think that you got what you think that you got, give it up, cause you're so dumb. I can make it go, make it stop, do a flip, do a flop, give it up, cause you're so dumb. You're so Woo. Feel so good and so smart ass, tight ass, bitch ass, rocking. No guy, Einstein, Stephen Hawking. Shut up, let me do the talking.
טונה, טוקינג, קחואה, אחורה, שייקספיר, בן גביר, בודה, דורה, ג'ינן, טוניק, רומים, קולה, הופה, אני שוב עם נוגה, איפה שהכל מטומטם, אולי צריך להיות גם קצת דם, ככל שדם מדבר בקול יותר רם, יגידו שאתה רמב"ם. תודי שזאת תקופה יפה להיות בחיה, לא סתם לא הגיעו, לא חזו אותה במאיה, אקדח לכל אזרח וכל אחד הוא הבדיה, שהוא שומע כמו בפאפאיה. לא צריך לקרוא את שכוב בשביל להבין שאיפה שיש מלחמה של אגו זה תמיד הפסד או טקו, ועכשיו שקצת קשה פה בוא נמשיך את המומנטו ונפסיק לריב כמו פרחות כבר לפני שיישפך עוד.
When you think that you got what you think that you got, give it up, cause you're so dumb. I can make it go, make it stop, do a flip, do a flop, give it up, cause you're so dumb. You're so Woo. Feel so good and so Woo. Feel so good and so Oh, I'm sorry, I was enjoying too much.
Noga.
I don't care how you feel, I like it.
You came at a bad time, but you just crossed the line. You wanna get wild? Okay, I'll show you wild.
Better come right, better luck trying, get into a level, cause you might die another the time, trying to start a battle. Bleeding isn't in my blood, pienso que está de la so beating you is what I do, yeah. Body, I'm naughty, but sorry, and when you pull up, I pull up a little late to the party. La, I can load it, I was born for this, there ain't no point in avoiding it. Annoyed, put a bitch on top, because me up to the bed, locking you out like a lullaby. Hear that sound ringing in your mind. Better sit down for the show, cause I'm gonna show you how it's done. Hot tricks, don't miss how it's done. Hot tricks, don't quit how it's done. Run, we run the town. Whole world playing our sound. Turning up is going
Bitches, bros, non-binary hoes. Hi. Hello. I'm gonna run an ad now so it will not interrupt our little lore spiraling. Okay. It's been a few hours. Not a lot has changed except the fact that I ate a bunch of food. Wait, didn't I? Oh, I bought 2 of the same monster energy. Oh well. Well, I actually had a thought. A very interesting thought. Hey Ian, hi Gnosis, hello Carmicius, hello, how you doing? How you doing? And Amargate is here, and Prism, how you doing guys? Hopefully everything is fantastic. Did you guys eat? Did you get some nutrients in your system? Hopefully you did. There's an ice block stuck in my bottle. Oh well, gotta let it melt for a sec. I actually found out something very interesting. You know what? Hold on, let me just I'm just gonna pull this up real quick. Hold on. Here we go. That's way better. Yeah, I did some changes around. You like it? Hopefully you like it. Let's go. 85 stream streak. Let's go. 85 streams. That is a lot of fucking streams. Wouldn't you agree? That's like almost 3 months worth of streams, which is insane. Well, I got a cup of coffee. I got a Monster Energy with ice because it's warm. We have a lot of things to do, a lot of things to discuss, a lot of things, right? I am thinking about how to do it because I don't want music to be here. Should we do just a lo-fi one? Let's see if I have a lo-fi playlist somewhere. Oh yeah, there's a lo-fi station. Apple Music, hello? Oh, someone's calling me, give me a sec.
Genshin Impact.
Okay, y'all, I have returned. I'm sorry for going out for a few minutes. My dog just came back from the vet. Yes, it is 10 p.m. and she just came from the vet and she's high as fuck, so I had to help her with food and drinks and stuff. Anyway, lore time. I wanted to say watch the Serenity Poll real quick, but I'm only at 60p. I mean, if you want to watch it, if you want to clip and send it here or in the Discord. So yeah, you could do that. Also, Discord, right? Thank you for reminding me. Discord. Wow, oh my god. Well, I hope you guys brought your questions and observations because I have a lot to discuss. So let's head to YouTube real fucking quick. Here we go. We got more than an hour. Everwinter Without Mercy. So we kind of did the entire shtick, all of the main few kind of like characters. There was something that interesting that I kind of wanted to touch on before we move on, especially in relations to in relations to the Fatui specifically, something about the Fatui always caught my eye, right? And something that I kind of realized just now, I was just like getting home. Something I noticed was every single one of the Fatui members, every single one of the Fatui members either was, holy shit, that's a long ass, let me just every single one of the members, right, changed their fate in one way or another, and those who haven't either died trying or have yet to do so, and we will notice it in either Snezhnaya or Conria, right? And that kind of foreshadowing really translated very well into, well, Snezhnaya, which the entire concept of Snezhnaya is the transcendence of fate, the transcending fate, kind of like going over it, being better than it, or like ignoring the rules of the gods, if you want to call it that, right? And I find it very interesting and very entertaining, right? Tui, exactly. I'm doing Natlan Quest. I will lurk while listening to the smart people here. Listen, it's not about people being smart, it's about people just paying attention. And it's okay if you don't play this game for lore. If you pay attention more to the music or the environment or the combat. Like, I sound very stupid when Toast is streaming and he's talking about like high roll, low rolls, and a bunch of stuff. Like, even Ian here knows way more like way more than I do when it comes to like anything fucking, what's the word, theory crafting related. Oh my god, fucking the ice block just doesn't want to come out. How the fuck did I get it in the bottle but not the, oh my god. Oh my goodness, I'm transcending. I'm so transcending right now. You know what, hold on, I'm just gonna put some monster inside the bottle. It's gonna like loose it around, loosey goosey. Anyway, god, I should have bought more Coca-Cola. Fuck. Yeah, I can like get some in the fridge after. Anyway, every single member of the Fatui Harbingers, that's my opening thoughts for this stream, right? Most of them have transcended fate, and that has been recorded in the stars, because if you look at every single one of the Fatui, playable Fatui members, except Child, they don't have the same constellation they had. The Balladeer, they had a puppet. Now they have their own image as their what's the name? Fucking constellation, right? Damselet doesn't even have a constellation. She has a fucking fuck-ass moon, trilunar, whatever the fuck. My question is, will Piero be playable? Oh wow, they updated the picture very fucking fast. The question is, does he even have a constellation since he's from Conria? That's something I really wanted to take a look and kind of like basically think about. Something else that I kind of wanted to discuss was, honestly, I let's just take a look at the live stream here instead. Just like let's see. There was a very I think it is a bunch of more A bunch more text until they say something about Conria, right? Exactly. We must begin to face the power of the four great rulers who seem to want to hurt Paimon. Not only stirs up the Paimon.
到底是
What in the world could have
发
happened
生了什么
there?
样的事情呢？至东的篇章啊，不仅牵动着整个提瓦特，也牵动着包括我自己在内的。
That's interesting. I wonder if the gnome is gonna be playable. Then my Shao. Oh, you mean fuck? What's his name? Puccinella. Yeah, Puccinella is probably gonna be playable. I mean, there is no other reason why they would nerf his fucking nose, dude. I don't see any reason to nerf his fucking nose if they're not gonna make him playable.
每一位旅行者的心。
各位旅行者从旅途之初就隐约感知到的
啊，话不多，逐一
敬请
大家所期待
找到隐约感知到。
东了，他现在的心情激动。
Okay, hold on. I want to see if there's a very where's this line? I really want to see if the hold on. Okay, so this is the edge of Not Cry. We know that for a fact. Let's hop on the map real quick. Hold on. How do I rate it? Map? Map. Here we go. Map area. Can we take a look at the entire map real quick? No. No map changes. Can we? Oh my god. Are they actually showing all of the, wow. Here we go, that's the entire Tevat map. Okay, let's take a look. So the newest island, first of all, that's not updated really because they added another small island right here. So I'm guessing, right, they're gonna probably get this little clump of land into this, so, like they showed in the stream, right? I think that's what's gonna happen. Okay.
也不用担心，在7.0版本更新后，借助地图上。
Yeah, you see, it's right next to the fucking. Right here's the Tore boss. Why shouldn't I just like hold on? I should just open up Genshin. Why am I not doing that? I should really just open up Genshin. Me like talking as if I can't check myself, like fact check myself. By the way, Ian, if you said you're gonna write down all your questions, feel free to ask them right now. And theories, same as anyone else. Margate, Gnosis. Questions, answers, theories, even if they sound crack or even if they sound weird, the entire concept of theorizing and like being a lore player is like asking those weird questions, like being like, oh, what if, and stay with me, you know. That's how good theories are being made. So don't feel bad or don't feel discouraged if you feel like you're not doing enough. Trust me. You're doing more than enough. Hear me out. Exactly. Exactly. Hear you out. Let me get into... Hold on. Hear me out. Heard. My god. Okay, let's hop into the game real quick. There we go. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is exactly where they put it, right? Because we're gonna ignore this. In the game, they don't oh yeah, they do. It's exactly here. It's exactly this little specific point. Like this little... It's actually interesting because this ship might be heading to Snezhnaya. That's actually insane. Why are they putting weapons in the game? Is there a reason? I'm sure that you mean the the guns, not I mean, they already have weapons in the game since launch. There's swords and spears and magic books and fucking bows and great swords, but I guess you mean like the weapons. So for that I say two things. A, there's the gameplay reason, which is the gameplay reason just to have something fresh and new and stuff. And there's the lore reason, which is something related to the Shadow Realm, which I'm gonna try to understand now on stream. Usually I do that off stream, but I'm gonna try to understand what exactly is happening there, because these are not the guns in your typical sense. These are probably something a bit more elemental, a little bit more magical per se. And we're gonna find out why now. I heard, seen people analyze, did they really said all Conrians are descendant of the Tsaritsa? Well, that's what I wanted to check out. They said that's the line I've been searching for, because that is, we're gonna see if that's true. Then that rewrites most of the theories. Are the guns more magical than friendship? Yep. There's the power of friendship and there's the power of AK-47. I don't care how good your friendship is. I'm pulling a Glock on you and you're dead, basically. Okay, if that's true, I'm just thinking about Albedo's family tree. Albedo's family tree is... Like, imagine being a random alchemist in Mundstadt and then realizing the fucking royal guard of Russia is basically your step-grandmother. Isn't that crazy? Oh, it's the Misty Shell run, right? Okay. Glock 19X, my dream gun. Oh my god, okay, this is how I know you're actually straight. You have a dream gun. Oh my god, a gay person would never. A gay person would never have a dream gun. I'm sorry, that's just the truth. Anyway, so we see this mainland, and now that we saw the trailer, now that we've seen how Snezhnaya looks, right? It actually does look like this is probably where Snezhnograd is gonna be with the Zapalyarny Palace, right? And over here is gonna be like the other areas. Over here is probably gonna be like a child's hometown. Over there, all the... It actually does make very, very logical sense to have this right here north, but I'm pretty sure the expansions are gonna head towards the east instead of the north. Maybe even like, because here's the thing, remember, technically there is some sort of a connection from Dorman Port, right, all the way around, or maybe technically all the way around to where Snezhnaya will be. Or they can actually go all the way around from here to Snezhnaya, but that doesn't make sense for two different main reasons. First of all, there is no Krai right here, and like, I mean, there's a port right here, right? But they gotta pass through here to get to Snezhnaya, right? So might as well just go the other way around. And second of all, there's the Dark Sea, which none has set foot in the Dark Sea. Some people say the Merjavari is in the Dark Sea, but I don't think so. I think they just like Asmodee did some space manipulation and not really accessible, since we can't really access the Merjavari. I've heard there's like a specific place in this, like in the Easy Breeze Holiday Resort, but I've never seen one. I've genuinely never seen one. So, in any case, let's get back to the live stream itself, right? I have a feeling that the elements are in the characters not gonna work some places. That's why we get guns with elements instead. Or am I only thinking that? I think the gun gameplay is only gonna happen in the... What's the name again? The Shadow Realm. We're gonna read a little bit more into that after like we try to see these parts of the live stream. I'm gonna actually just like let them talk a little bit and then analyze what they're saying, okay?
自动解锁的传送锚点，大家也可以快速的来到至东本土探索了。
那这抵达的方式我们是知道了啊，不过还有一些旅行者，他们对于至东这个国家究竟是什么样子的，也感到很好奇。要不小罗浩，你先给大家介绍介绍？
没问题。至东啊，它和我们之前去过的任何一个国度。
Hold on, they're not saying Snezhnaya, right? They're saying something else. They're saying Shadonwa, something like that, right? Let me hold on. Give me a sec. Snezhnaya. How do they say it in? Holy shit! So many NPCs related to. Okay. Let me just etymology. Here we go. Yeah, so Snezhna, right, in Russian means snowy. It's actually from small feminine noun, right? Most likely strana, aka the land, right? A Russian land or Russian country, but feminine permitted to be omitted in the context. Snezhnaya, right? Okay, cool. So, Snezhna's Chinese name, Zhidong, is an anagram of Chinese term for winter solace, Dongzhi. Ooh, interesting. It's an anagram. I mean, as much of an anagram that it can be, since it's 2 characters. They just flip the characters. Interesting. Why would that be? That's the only. All of the other characters are either Snezhnaya, right? Or in Russian, but only in Chinese. Both simplified and traditional, it means extreme winter. And you know what else means extreme winter in Russian? Stuzha. That's a really nice detail. I still can't believe all you need to do is finish Mondstadt, then you can skip right to Snezhnaya. That's it. Every person, like, every time they do that, I kind of think, like, oh, it's really stupid, because at the end of the day, you don't really, Oh, let me just skip to the...
冒险家协会。
不过，
但是我想
还让我相信
，TV 里
事情自己所有性。
There you go. I still cannot believe that, like, every time they do that, right? I always say that it is not a smart idea to do so, because at the end of the day, Genshin Impact is a linear story. They're really out here trying to kind of like convince you that this game is not a linear story. It is a linear story. It always was a linear story, and it will be a linear story. There is no reason for it not to be. I mean, every region practically only gives out information about either previous regions or very, very vague foreshadowings into other, like, next regions. The only region that has been thoroughly teased is Snezhnaya, which is, of course, the last region. That makes sense, you know? That makes sense that it'll be the most teased region, the most hyped region, and the fact that they need to actually, you know, deliver on those promises. And I am keeping that in mind. Of course, a lot of people are gonna say, oh, it's overhyped, it didn't live up for the hype. And of course, that's because, bro, you hyped this shit up more than you had to. Like, just remember, just because it's hyped doesn't mean it's gonna be as good as people hype it up to be, right? Have your expectations realistically met to the game you're playing. Fucking fantasizing about McDonald's for like a month will not make it taste like a Michelin star gourmet meal, right? It's still gonna be good for McDonald's. That's what I'm saying. Watch people think, oh god, people gonna watch this and think I'm calling Genshin Impact McDonald's. That's gonna be insane. But yeah, it is not suggested at all. Every person that I'm telling them, like, oh yeah, sure, you can jump right into Snezhnaya. I'm like, no, don't ever do that. Like, people like always like, oh, but it's so long and I have all these regions. Like, yeah, they are really good regions, and the story is gonna make much more sense and gonna hit way harder if you actually sit down and connect to these characters, and you connect to these music and sounds and, like, you know, the vibes of it. Like, would you just expect to, when you start a show, just to get to the end finale and that's it? No, you have to sit through all the episodes and you gotta experience it. And yes, it can be boring at times. Yes, it can be cringe. Yes, it can be confusing sometimes. It can drag out. It can be, it cannot make sense sometimes. But when you get to Snezhnaya after completing all this, you will feel much more informed, much more complete, and much more deserving to enjoy it than if you just skip through it, right? And like, the best example I can give you is fucking La Signora. La Signora took the Gnosis from Venti. Venti yeeted himself into the tree of Vanessa, the Windrise, right? And he rambled on a little bit about visions and allergenes, and then said, oh yeah, go to Liyue. So instead you go to Snezhnaya, right? You missed out on the fact that Signora went to Zhongli and took his Gnosis as well, not by power, and then she went into Inazuma and she almost took it, but she died in Inazuma, and there was a lot of like hoopla around that. You totally missed that just because you skipped a thing. One singular character impacted a lot of other characters in 3 different regions, died, impacted a 4th region, and you didn't even know that, you know? So like, imagine what else you'll be missing if it's just gonna skip to another region. Which is why I'm always saying, like, play the game as intended. Don't let them convince you that it's faster. Oh, you're gonna you be with the trend. FOMO. Like, shut up, dude. Okay.
旅行者们欢迎回来。
欢迎回来哦。
哎，小乐号，我之前看到有一位旅行者说啊，马上要去至东了，他现在的心情激动到简直有点难以相信啊，这一天真的来了。不过他现在还不太清楚啊，究竟要怎么样才能踏上这片传说中的土地。
这位旅行者也不用担心啊，大家应该还记得，多托雷把自己的研究所造在了罗德卡莱与至东本土的必经之路上。那从这个研究所向东北方向出发。
Yep, I was right. Take a look at this mountain right here, right? Let's head exactly to where they did that. Hold on. Wait, why am I... There's a teleport. Am I stupid? There's an actual teleport. This exact mountaintop is this exact mountaintop. It's like actually like these same. It's insane that I was able to find it. Oh my god. This is not even like, I'm not even gonna pretend that I'm not autistic in any way, shape, or form, you know?
出发。
My first question is, chess stream when? Never. I'm not good at chess. I never was good at chess. I never will be good at chess. I will try to overanalyze the meaning of chess in this game though, so just know that.
各位旅行者就可以来到
Okay, the border. Of course, there's a mint right here. Hold on. Just gonna make sure everybody sees. There's a mint right here. Very important for lore ramifications, you know. Incredibly important. The meaning of the mint is actually being, the ramifications of modern day capitalism. I'm joking. That's obviously not. Obviously not. I'm trolling. Yo, Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Kevin 1000. Thank you for the log. And thank you 2 times. 26 more times and you get a VIP badge. Let's go. You got Bina. Let's go. W's. Log champ. Let's go. They calling us mint pickers. Little do they know we are part of the breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs never die. That's right, brother.
东本土的边境了。
God, it looks actually unreal.
而一些还没来得及探索诺德卡莱的旅行者，也不用担心，在7.0版本更新后，借助地图上自动解锁的传送锚点，大家也可以快速的来到至东本土探索了。
Don't do that. Again, I already said it. Don't do that. I had such a bad luck finally getting something lucky happen. Nice, I'm so happy for you. Actually happy for you. It's time for you to build her. If you need some help, I'm here, Ian's here, Toast is here.
那这抵达的方式我们是知道了啊，不过还有一些旅行者，他们对于至东这个国家究竟是什么样子的，也感到很好奇。
What game did they recreate over here? Is it the same game from the trailer? I really hope so. Because if not, then I'm gonna have to start, like, analyzing what game that is. Yeah, whatever. I already 90'd her in 20 seconds. Oh my god. Well, good job for the speedrunning that.
要不小罗浩，你先给大家介绍介绍。
没问题。至东啊，它和我们之前去过的任何一个国度都截然不同。这个国家除了有极寒的天气，还带着一身的。
Okay, yeah, it is from the. It is from the trailer. It is the. Hold on. The fallen Animo and Hydra pieces. Yeah, okay, so. Okay. First of all, the fact that they have it, it probably means they're gonna capitalize off the of the models. They're gonna sell it somewhere, which is really nice. Another thing I kind of meant is kind of seeing right now is the fact that they. Well, what color is? Maybe I'm overanalyzing. Yeah, I'm overanalyzing. It's just a set. Never mind. I thought the colors are different. Yo, hi Dode. How you doing? Hello, hello, hello. How's your day? How's your night? How's your week? How's your weekend? Hopefully you're doing fantastic. We are sitting here overanalyzing the special program, and you might think to yourself, oh, there's not a lot to overanalyze. I mean, you've been already streaming 40 minutes, and you got only like 9 minutes of the trailer, and to that I say think again, because for the past 2 hours I've been streaming I've been streaming from 12ish or 1 p.m. right, and it is almost 11. I just took a break. So after the original stream ended, I reacted on like for the first 5 minutes up until like here-ish, over here, right? And that took about 2 hours. So I'm looking around to finish this entire live stream analysis until the end of the stream. If not, then that's gonna have to wait for another stream. You know?
反骨啊，反骨吗？
Okay, Rebellious Spirit, we already talked about how that is very much. Why is it so loud? It shouldn't be that loud. Okay, it is. Okay, cool.
立项之初，在原神 IP 团队的构思中，至东就是一个敢于向天空举起叛旗的国家。
Okay, so ever since the beginning, they kind of knew that Xinjiang is going to be a rebellious country, like a rebellious nation, as a nation that dares to rise the banner of rebellion against the heavens. Interesting. God. I mean, it does make sense. All the Fatui Harbingers kind of like transcended their own fate. Do you guys think the 10th Fatui Harbinger doesn't exist because he transcended the fate and he's actually one of the sinners? Could that be? Because hear me out on that. Like... Number 10 was always unknown, right? Every single one of them either has a successor in mind, or they're too young to have a successor. Those who are either too young or not gonna die soon either had someone before them, or they just opened their seat, right? Like Child has a newly 10th seat, right? The Fair Lady on purpose doesn't have a successor because she was supposed to live forever, right? Scaramouche is an oddball because he deleted himself from Irminsul, so, you know. Marionette will not die soon, Pantalone will not die soon, and Arlecchino had the opposite. What's the opposite of successor again? Precursor, right? That died, and then Colombina took her place. Anyway, do very good. Hope you're well yourself, and don't worry, I get it. I talked for like 10 minutes about the description of the fishing name card to my wife yesterday. Nah, you're right home. You're right home. Right at home. Also, if we're already playing Genshin, predecessor. Oh, yeah. Listen, English is a stupid language. It's a stupid language. You see, Colombina has herself instead of the random ass dove. I mean, technically the dove is a part of her constellation right here, but once again, remember, it's not an actual constellation. The official name is... Oh, and it's technically it is a constellation, but it's a trilunar convergence, so... Same goes for Sandrones. Sandrones' constellation is her image of her own self, right? Which is very interesting considering the fact that she has an actual marionetta as her constellation, right? So almost every single one. I think the only one who isn't is Child, but I don't have Child to prove it. Wait, can you take a look at the constellations from... Hold on, let's see. Child. Yeah, so Child is the only one who actually has the thing, the narwhal, but the narwhal is actually something outside of Teyvat, so maybe that's why the Heavenly Principles can't really control it. You know? I don't know, dude. Alright, let's get back to the thing. Isn't Pantalone gonna die soon because he's running out of Dotora's life elixir? No, he has like I think he has like around 100 years, right? When one half the Dotora's soul caused chaos and not crap, Pantalone was recalled to answer directly to Ritz and Puccinello due to this task with the second Harbinger. They were fucking. After half was destroyed by Colombina and her friends, taken to the ley lines, Pantalone made preparations, to Sumeru, he planted several spikes in Gurabad, blah blah blah, revived Dotora in a new form, right? They told him to defend the city, blah blah blah. Nonetheless, he was safe in the city areas before the attack, blah blah blah. There will be no one to produce the elixir, and his remaining stock would only last a few more years. But Pantalone told him that he would let things run their course, just as he does when he feels optimistic about market environments, and will choose not to be particular about the matter of his death. He bid farewell to Dotora and left the nation. Interesting. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of not this trailer. Hold on. Hold on, give me a sec. Transcendence trailer. They know that I'm talking about Genshin. I think it was when Pantalone, yeah, Pantalone talked about Mora, right? He said Mora can flow in unnatural ways. Mora is in water, right?
Oh my.
Wait, where's when are they gonna talk about Is it not here? Huh? I thought it's here when the ether... Oh, is it the other trailer? The ecology trailer? Snezhnaya ecology trailer. This area has so many fucking trailers. Holy shit. That's actually really good. I'm sorry, teaser, whatever. Yeah, this one.
Already. How's that for a numbers game?
Mora isn't water. Sometimes it can flow in unnatural directions.
Where am I? So that immediately makes me think about that little paragraph right here, right? Because if he actually is unpeculiar with his matter of death and he's very calm about it, just like his market evaluation, does that mean that he actually has something else that he can do, another ace up his sleeve? Because Pantalone, we gotta take a look at Pantalone, the character from the Commedia dell'arte, to see what does Pantalone mean in the Commedia dell'arte. Pantalone or Pantaloon. Okay, let's take a look. Sorry, isn't there a dark mode? Oh, here we go. Why is okay, cool. Pantalone is one of the most important principal characters found in Commedia dell'arte, with exceptional greed and status at the top of the social order. Pantalone is money in the Commedia world. His full name, including family name, is Pantalone de Bisognosi. Pantalone of the needy. Interesting. Of course, stock character, yeah, of course we know that one. The name Pantaloon came to generally mean an old fool or a dotard. Dotard. I'm sorry if is it a bad word? Probably. The role of Pantalone is usually spoken entirely in the Venetian language. The character of Pantalone is entirely based on the currency and ego, for he has the highest regard to intelligence. But every step he becomes the butt of every conceivable kind of trick. Interesting. Pantalone is characterized for his loving of money and having emotional extremes, with sinister and often inhumane treatment towards his fellows. That is very interesting, because he does act inhumane. I'm kind of like disregarding his relationship with Dottore, because remember, most of his relationships with Dottore was actually with Zandik, not Dottore, because remember, these are two different characters, quote unquote, right? I mean, these are obviously the same character, but he fell in love basically with Zandik and not with Dottore, because remember, when he said goodbye to Zandik, even though Dottore told him, you can call me Dottore or whatever else you want, right? Because they were talking specifically about the segments. So where everyone else, he actually acts inhumane because he withholds funds. He doesn't let people actually do what they want. I'm thinking about not Colombina, Sandrone, right? I'm thinking about Child. So that's very interesting. Pantalone is perceived to be a pivotal part of the Commedia. His importance is represented in almost every Commedia production, often placing him at the beginning of the comedy. Interesting, because right now he's only at the end. In the Commedia drama, many Zani or Izani or Yatsi routines will begin by an action delivered by Pantalone himself. Pantalone is described as too self-absorbed to notice and interact much with the audience, but he's so obvious that he serves the same purpose. Interesting. That doesn't really fit our Pantalone, because our Pantalone is very, very aware. Due to his portrayal as an old single man, it might be claimed that Pantalone is a very one-sided representation of old age. However, he is actually a very rounded and multifaceted description of the suggestive nature of old age. Pantalone's inappropriate enthusiasm for the young ladies inside the commedia world is abundantly borne out of his previously mentioned whatever the fuck that is. Of all the 27 pieces, 10 allude to ladies in their titles alone, either just as a lady or as a spouse. House cleaner and courtesan, whores, sweethearts, and darlings. Okay, so that's actually Pantagune. Yeah, that's actually Pantagune. Interesting. How will he survive then? I mean, we do know... I mean, honestly, the only way I can see it is if he is actually Baiji. Pantalone can be Baiji. Honestly, I still kind of believe it. Okay, let's catch up on chat. Let's see. Commissions, let's see. Oh yeah, one more thing about the anagram Chinese. Dongzhi is winter solace or winter's peak, which describes a short period of time. By moving zhi to the beginning, it becomes more of a general description of the state, zhidong, or extreme winter, or to use the marketing mihoyo is saying everwinter, or in Russian, stuzha, because Project Stuzha. And that is absolutely peak, how it all connects together. Oh my god, I love it. I fucking love it. Also, I'm gonna Google his name real quick. See if his name actually means anything. Let's open up another tab. I have like 10 different tabs. So it only... Okay, how about like instead of Fyofan Sergeyevich, like I don't know, dude. Hey, how you doing, time? Welcome. Okay, that's villains. Now let's So who is that? Let me see. Fyofan Sergeyevich. Because I'm genuinely believe that there's some sort of like a Russian person or like a Slavic person, right? Or not? I don't know. Nothing about his name. Like the other harbingers, Pantalone is derived from stock. Like the okay, yeah, a type of Italian theater which makes masks designated. Yeah, of course. Is greedy, we are told. The literal meaning of pantalone in Italian is pants. Interesting. A recreator or regrader is a person who purchases goods from a market that resells them in the same or nearby market at an inflated price. Oh, interesting. So his title literally means scalper. Wow, I didn't know that. Don't let him near Pokemon cards. Okay, let's take his name actually. Okay. So Fyofan, right? There's Russian name of the ancient Greek, of course, meaning manifestation of God. Sergeyevich is the son of Sergei. Sergei is also a very popular, incredibly popular Russian word. You probably know that. It's almost stereotypical. And Vexel is a Russian word, means bill of exchange. Basically, you know, like dollar bills. So that's of course very fitting. So his name in literal translations means Pan's son of Sergei, bill of exchange. That's of course not really that specifically you know, there's no any actual meaning to the name. So his name Pantalone is obviously Pantalone. Okay, Pantalone. In Russian that means делец, which means businessman. In Chinese it's Furen, which is of course rich person. Okay, that makes sense. Bina and Santrone, who's the top, who's the bottom? Santrone is the power bottom. And Sandrone always gets her fingers caught up in the gears, if you know what I mean. Okay, I should probably stop, like... Ask me serious lore questions! You told me! You gotta ask lore questions! Okay, let's get back to the... Also, really nice observation, Carmicius. Actually. Maybe thinking too hard about it, just my limited Chinese proficiency. No, I actually really want that. I really need that because, you know, most of the games are actually mistranslated. You know, like the oculi being actually named Eyes of God in Chinese. Also correct me about my pronunciations because I'm trying to pronounce it correctly, but it's probably not correct. So... But yeah, I love these types of discussion. Ask me stuff, tell me stuff. Don't worry, don't feel pressured. Just generally, like speaking. When past Hoyo to do that, rules are made to be broken. Honestly, yeah. I mean, we already have a lot of Genshin references in Honkai games, so now it's time to return the favor. You know. I don't think so though. That sounds very painful. Yes, it is. Don't ask me how I know. Okay.
而抗争命运和超越规则，可以说是深深地刻在了这个国家的血肉里。
啊，那看起来想要了解至东啊，还绕不开这里的悠久历史。
故事啊，还是要从古老的至东讲。
The story must begin in ancient Snezhnaya.
讲起，那时的至东并非终年严寒，曾经它也拥有过绿叶繁茂的盛。
It once had lush summers full of green leaves. Interesting. Do we think the heavenly principles do you think the heavenly principles kind of on purpose froze Snezhnaya over as some sort of a punishment and then made the people of Snezhnaya try to blame the Tsaritsa or the Bielý Tsar when it was back in his day, and it didn't really work, so Project Stusha is actually like some sort of a rebellion to that. Could that be an ironic name instead of like an actual like literal name? Because I don't think anybody has been thinking about that in the correct way. That could actually just be that they are trying to hide something. And I mean, nothing really stops them from lying, you know? They can actually genuinely just mean, like, they can melt the entire fucking planet and then still call it Project Stusha. Because it comes from the land of winter and ice.
但这片土地最终化作了永久的冻土与荒原，变得几乎不再适合人类生存。面对这样的绝境，至东的人民没有向命运低头。在这片被遗弃的土地上，初代兵神白沙皇立下了宏愿，他要建立一个不依。
Interesting. The Bielý Tsar, after Snezhnaya, ancient Snezhnaya, became, in the literal sense, Snezhnaya, right? Only then did he made a vow to make Snezhnaya a nation that is independent from the heavenly principles. Does that mean the Bielý Tsar was a gnosis-less archon? No, because he was the first Cryo Archon. He just said that. The first Cryo Archon, Bielý Tsar, right? So how can it be that he seeks to create a nation without the heavenly principles as power, but still uses a gnosis?
神白沙皇立下了宏愿，他要建立一个不依赖于天理，也能独立存续的国度。
放在提瓦特这应该是一个非常宏伟的理想了。但是在这种情况下，最要紧的还是得先解决如何生存的问题。想要与天理抗争，那我们先得去对抗这些极端的自然环境。
没错， 面对足以吞噬一切的严寒，制动人的回答可以说是悲壮和浪漫的。白沙皇利用一种名为克什尼克。
So it's so interesting to me to kind of like, I don't know, because the Cryo Archon was not an Archon before that, right? Or I mean, did all of that happen after the Archon War? Because that doesn't seem right with me, you know? Timeline wise, the Archon War, he gets assigned as a Cryo Archon, and only then Snezhna becomes a frozen wasteland, and then he decides, oh, okay, I'm gonna make a nation without any. Wait, did Conria exist during the Archon War? Did Conria exist before, like, during the Archon War? I'm thinking, and I'm also reading. Something I don't really understand. It doesn't really say when Conria was founded, right? Found in start. God, so we really don't know when Conria was founded, right? God, I'm trying to figure out a timeline. You know what? Okay, let's take a look. Okay, let's think real quick. We got the Archon War. Okay, like we got Tivat, a bunch of gods. A lot of the gods don't really fuck with each other. Others don't care. Celestia is like, hey guys, so we got 7 seats, and we're gonna do a battle royale. The arena is the entirety of Tivat. You can kill anyone or don't not kill anyone, we don't care, just like make sure only 7 of you guys are left. Bye. And all the Archons killed each other, a lot of shit happened, a lot of gods died, a lot of civilizations have crumbled, especially ancient ones, and then like we got the 7 main Archons, which were let's do in order. So we got Venti, Zhongli, Makoto, Uruka Devata. Egeria. Holy shit. Egeria, Shabalanke, and Bielitsar, right? Don't ask John Lee what he was doing 500 years ago. Oh, he was killing some Korean babies. Bro was doing some genocide. Bro is spiritually Israeli. Okay, now that's too political. Anyway, so 200 years ago, Archon War, all these Archons are there. The heavenly principles are like, congratulations guys, here's a body of a descender cut up to very beautiful pieces, right? And here's like the elemental energy in those. These are a very small fraction of the dragon's authority that we stole because we colonized this planet. Don't forget that. You know what? No, actually do forget that. We just don't tell anyone, right? And they get the Gnosis, and each is doing their own thing. So Bielitsad is like, oh shit. So we had a very beautiful land with lush summers and green land, right? Why is it cold suddenly? And the heavenly principles were like, whatever. And so Bielitsad was like, oh shit, you know what, bet, I don't really care, you guys are just doing wars, I'm gonna make a nation without you, right? But before that, my people really need me, so let's just find something to do about the cold, because nobody can really live like that, right? So he found an energy source known as the Kresnik's Krystal, right? I don't know why they're calling it like that, just say crystal, but I guess you want to try to make it Russian, so you're gonna misspell that or something. That's the lore from what I'm getting up until now, right? I just got Ching Chue, the quantum account finally has 2 units. Let's go!
金矿的能源在冰原下建了一座巨大的克什尼克之巨，硬生生的在命运的冻土上烧出了一个允许生命传。
Oh, so the Kresnik storage is actually below here, and not below the mountains. Interesting.
喘息，允许文明扎根的庇护所。
那我想在这个庇护所之外，出行应该也是举步维艰的吧？至东幅员辽阔，再加上极端的低温，想要像在蒙德一样自由自在的出行，几乎是不可能的。
没错，所以另外一种浪漫的工业产物应运而生了。
我知道你在说什么了。旅行者们其实见过哦，这就是在至东的宣传片当中出现多次的雪国列车。
对，轰鸣的列车将一个个城镇彼此相连，也由此构成了这里独一无二的人文魅力。大家可以搭乘列车去往海。
Moria Pisok. Are you serious? Moria Pisok? You guys know what Moria Pisok means in Russian? Moria is ocean or sea. Pisok is sand. It's actually just sea sand or seaside or shore.
谢镇，没错，就是我们公子达达利亚的老家。
Oh, that's the home. Oh, okay. So the name of the child's hometown is Moria Pisok.
没错，
在那里可以欣赏到美丽的极光。当然，大家也可以通过列车轻松来到至东堡，去北国银行的总行办理业务。
听起来这个至东堡应该是一个非常热闹的地方啊，就像蒙德城、像纳夏镇一样。 那在这里，你可以观察到人们平时是怎么生活的。比如说，当地的人呢喜欢吃熏肠、喝活水，孩子们喜欢堆雪人、打雪仗。虽然至东的天气不讲道理，但是至东的人会教他什么是道理。至东人自己把生活过出了热气腾腾的感觉。
自然，至东堡也是至东的城市中心。
Okay, so we got Snezhnograd, right? Oh, kind of like sand is found between sea and land. Oh my god, yeah, basically. But you know that's not true. Like that's just like a TikTok fact. You know, those types of facts that sound true, but they're not. But nobody's like too keen on fixing them, but because it's not like it's gonna have any difference.
在这里，大家可以领略到都市的繁华和艺术的巅峰，很推荐呀，大家去科洛列夫茨基剧院欣赏顶级的芭蕾舞表演，或者呢是聆听剧团首席女高音的演出。
除了丰富的这些文化生活以外，至东还有强大的军事和科技实力。
对，愚人众的总部格鲁。
Alright, so the Fatui headquarters name. The name of the headquarters is Glupov. Trying to think, what does it say in Russian? Hold on. Let me check. In Croatian, that means stupid, but like... Hold on, I don't have a Russian... Do I have a Russian keyboard? I don't have a Russian keyboard. Gulu... Oh wait, did I... Glupov... Glupov... Glupast... I can't really... Fuck. Is there like a way for me to kind of like type in the language? God, so many languages, damn. Oh, let's go.
Glupov.
It actually means stupid. That's actually insane. I mean, I don't know how much I trust Google.
Глуповатый.
Interesting. Never said it's called sand. No, I'm not saying that you call it. I'm saying like people on TikTok and Twitter, like, no, did you know that you know? Interesting that they call it that. Is it like a joke, or is it actually just like naming conventions?
鲁波夫就坐落于此，里面有一座名为军械宫的兵工厂，他是我们的老朋友，也是愚人众的执行官木偶在管理。
Oh, Sandronde manages this armory? Oh, that's easy. We're getting in. We're getting in with a key card and a souvenirs basket.
会源源不断地为愚人众生产各种装备，许多重要的研究工作也会在这里进行。除此之外，这里有一支由风仙组成的军队，也就是东契军，他们纪律严明，是守卫现任兵神。
Nothing much to say about those.
冰之女皇的精英。
我们不难看出，至东自身确实具备很强的军事实力。
自然，
那其实除了至东自有的这些力量还有一些外来的力量也在影响着这个国家。
没错，在很久以前，古老的至东。
A long time ago, ancient Snezhna was visited by an unexpected guest from beyond this world. So, of course, the Voyager. Okay.
有一位来自世界之外的意外访客，也就是我们所说的第三降临者。他来到了这片土地上。 也为至东带来了新的力量。
Hold on. Okay, so we got Heavenly Principles, Nibelung, Saralainen, and us. So Saralainen is like the third Saralainen is the third descender, the one who came into ancient Snezhnaya, which is Hyperborea. Strangers of Winter's Day was the third descender of Tivat. During an unspecified time period between the War of Fury Flame and the Archon War, he was slain by the Heavenly Principles in Pohjola, which is an island in Notkrai, ancient Snezhnaya, right? Interesting. Okay, so what did they say about him? This is a power that surmounts the rules of Tivat. Interesting.
一种超越提瓦特规则的力量，能将提瓦特原本
It can transform Tivat's original elemental reaction rules to an entirely new reaction rules, so the stellar reaction set is based on the third descender.
的元素交互规则异化为全新的反应规则。相信有的旅行者已经在月之8版本体验过其中的一种反应星超岛了。而在7.0版本，我们将会迎来第二种反应。
Okay, there's a new stellar swirl. Okay, so lock in chat, lock in Ian, because we are going to. I'm gonna try to stay on top of the theory crafting, the meta theory crafting for that matter as well. Okay, let's take a look.
这些反应
These reactions are collectively known as stellar glimmer reactions. So right now in the stellar glimmer, we have stellar swirl and stellar conduct.
被统称为星烁反应。
I'm guessing any other. Wait, no, we got only. I mean, we only have 2 lunar reactions and 2 stellar reactions, right? How many lunar reactions? We have lunar charged, lunar bloom, oh, and lunar crystallize. So I'm guessing we're gonna have three reactions, right? I mean, I guess. Also, I just realized right here it shows like the Akasha 2.0. Interesting. So it's always gonna be active. Okay.
当旅行者与至东的
After travelers interact with such as 7 and Snezhnaya,
也能掌握这
it can also. Oh, they fucking right away. Okay, that's
古
interesting.
老的力量，驱使冰元素。
If we already have it, let's take a look. Okay, let me try to say something. Why are the statues like that? Are the statues new? Are the statues like, I don't know, like the statues are depicting the current Archon, so that means that all the Archons in the last 500 years were like, did the statues of the 7, right, not exist before the Cataclysm? Because that will not make any sense unless the Heavenly Principles decided to bump up on the quote-unquote Archon security after Conria. Because there's 1,500 years between the Archon War and the Cataclysm, where, you know, at least 1,500 years. No, I'm sorry, up to 1,500 years that all the Archons existed, but they didn't have statues, or they have statues, but de facto, the statues have either been altered, changed, or just built only after the Cataclysm. Because if they were built beforehand, right, and they were not changed or altered in any way, this should have been the Bielitsara's statue, and we should have seen like I mean, okay, the first 3 archons, okay, we got Venti stay the same, Zhongli stay the same, Raiden A and Makoto are twins, so it doesn't really matter. But then you're kind of starting to see, like, okay, we see Fossilors, and she looks like Farina, so does Egeria look exactly the same, or is it a new statue? Then we went right into and then was Sumeru. Sumeru is 100% a new archon. That's a child, and that's a very grown ass woman. And we see that in the statue, it's Nahida, it's a child, right? And she's like around 500 years old. She's the youngest, right? And then the next question is, how about Xbalanque? Like, that's also like a male archon that was the predecessor of a lot of other human archons, both men and women. And the newest archon, once again, 500 fucking years old, that is like on the statue. So either the Heavenly Principles are changing the statue, or the statues were only built after the Cataclysm 500 years ago. And I mean after the Cataclysm, specifically after, not before. Because after the Cataclysm, all of the new archons arrived. Nahida and Moika and Fossilor. Or Farina, if you want to call it that. A lot of shit happened 500 years ago, but I have a feeling that it's like something that happened in an entire year, not in a single day. Or maybe in a single day. That would be actually insane.
那身为同样具有降临者位格的旅行者啊，在掌握这种冰元素力量之后，只要旅行者在队伍当中，就能够触发所有的星说反应。
Okay, so Traveler is basically like Odetta. That means that they both activate Stellar Glimmer. So does having like a Sandrone, Traveler, Alyosha, Chi-Chi would be viable? Well, not even Chi-Chi, like Coffee? I mean, Traveler is like a sub DPS, I'm guessing, right?
那我们就先说说这第一种反应星超导吧。在之前的版本我们有提及，在支持触发星超导反应的队伍当中，当冰元素接触雷元素时，
Not really, because Still Conduct Traveler is an on-field DPS. No, but he doesn't have to be on-field in order to... Still Swirl is off-field. Oh, okay, but he still can activate both. Like, if there was like an entire party without Stellar Conduct, let's say Risley, fucking... Risley, Fischl, Kazuha, and Diona, right? Swap up Kazuha with Cryo Traveler, suddenly... Risley is a Stellar Conduct DPS. Interesting. Okay, cool. That's really cool. Wait, does that mean that... Oh, no, never mind. I was about to ask a stupid question. I was about to ask if Anemo Traveler can be a Stellar Swirl. I mean, technically he can't, but he cannot activate it on his own.
星辉棱晶，并且将其附近的区域短暂变化为奇妙的极星辉域。 在这个领域内，角色造成的星超导反应伤害以及冰、雷元素伤害都将获得提升。
Oh, so he's buffing the Stellar Conduct, Cryo, and Electro damage. Cool. So he's technically a buffer, right? I was gonna say I'm so happy there's no cold bar like in Dragon's Spine. There is. They just implemented a few more mechanics that that's gonna make it easier for you to explore. But there will be, and I promise you, it's gonna be annoying. That's the entire point of the nation. It's gonna be hard to explore it. Yeah, but actually I like that. It is refreshing because there were so many nations that it was too easy to explore. So yeah. He has a 7% true multiplier. Whoa. Damn, so he busted. He's like actually finally a fucking good traveler.
此外，还将降低敌人的物理抗性。
Okay, decreases res. Stellar Swirl. When animal comes in contact with Cryo, a special Stellar Swirl reaction will be triggered, doing animal damage and creating a Stellar Vortex. Vortex will explode after a period of time. How much though?
还会提升风旋的等级。在
Okay, so the more swirl you do, the bigger the vortex, the bigger and the more damage it does when it explodes. Cool. Yeah, I mean, sure, but yeah, I know, but I'm pretty sure that's like you're not gonna feel the difference as long as you make sure like the bar, like there's gonna be a negative bar, like a heat bar that dissipates slowly, right? And only after the heat bar is over, that's when the cold bar starts to rise. That's like in a really simple terms. Do you know true damage, true multiplier? Ignoring defensive enemies, right? It doesn't work like damage percentage add onto the motion value itself. Yeah, it basically means it's better or like, I'm guessing more consistent. And no, silver reactions always ignore enemy defense. Damn, I wish they would have made it very simple, simpler to understand. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just like not looking in the right places, but they are not making it. I think they should be able to like give us a very simple tutorial like a lot of the other Hoyo games. Maybe, but again, once again, maybe I'm just not looking in the right places.
造成更高的伤害。
So basically the gameplay is to like max out the vortex on the stellars. I don't see why I'm not gonna bring my Kazuha into Snezhny.
看来啊，温柔的风在遇到猛烈的冰之后，就变成了凛冽的寒风啊。
没错。
So we're gonna have 3 reactions on Lunar, 3 reactions in Stellar. So Stellar is gonna be Stellar Conduct, Stellar Swirl, and then Stellar Dendro, whatever it's called, Rhymestone, Rhymegrass, Stellar Rhymegrass, I guess. I don't see why they're not gonna. You can bring him into Snezhny, but not into Stellar Swirl damage endgame. What do you mean? I'm gonna C6 his ass, and then I'm gonna use him as a main animal DPS with, I don't know, fucking Traveler. Fucking Rosaria would be a good cryo applicator. Fucking Kaya. Gonna bring Kaya as my stellar swirl double S. Oh no, I cannot say double S. Never mind. Does Kazuha C6 give stellar damage bonus? I don't think so. We're gonna have to check. And I mean, look, his C6, right? First of all, he earns all the other cool shit. So you got C1, which is he resets his, like his alt resets his E, so we could do E alt E. That's nice, right? And then you get extra EM, right? Like Kazuha gets 400, characters get 200. And then extra levels for his alt, and then energy, right? More damage, and then right here he gets Animal Infusion for 5 seconds, and then every elemental mastery point he gets extra 0.2 normal charged and plunging attack damage. Now this, right, this doesn't seem to have a cap. So if you have, for example, 1000, right, that's up to 200% normal charge attack damage with Animal Infusion, right? And I mean, I'll have more than 1000. Right now I have almost 1000. So add 400 on this bitch, and you got yourself a beast. Also, like, excuse you, fucking the more like elemental mastery adds increases stellar conduct damage. Like 1000 EM is almost 200% stellar conduct damage. So add another 400, right? And on top of that, add the buffs from, say, Traveler. Like, I genuinely don't understand why I would not be able to use Kazuha, Traveler, fucking, I don't know, another cryo support or something like Shenhe, Scoffier, Chi-Chi, Diona for her burst, and then another fucking Animo. You know? Like fucking, for example, Yume Mizuki. No, wait, no, she doesn't do off-field. Also, you just said they nerfed the shit out of Yume Mizuki, and this is why I did not build her. Also, I only have her C0, so I'm probably... Let me guess, I'm probably gonna need her C4, right? I'm gonna build him. It's gonna be... Or fucking Varka, you know what? I can have Varka. Bark. I said they nerfed the shit out of VV. So they're gonna give a different set, okay? You know what? They're gonna give a different set. I'm not gonna build her ass. I'm not building her. I'm not. Okay? You're just delusional. Oh, god damn it. Oh god, let's get in. Let's keep doing that. An hour and a half, and we barely 15 minutes in. That's great.
其实，在至东啊，元素反应不仅能够应用在战斗当中，在战场之外也会为旅行者的冒险提供帮助。比如刚才提到的新扩散反应，会让角色的跳跃能力大幅得到提升，而新超导反应则可以和大世界更多的内容进行特殊的交互，并且啊，至东有很多的生物还有敌人也会对星硕反应有所响应。
Okay, I just really hope that I just really fucking hope that they're not gonna pull a stunt like fucking Natlan, right? That they're gonna, oh, just use this specific character to interact with the environment in a more easier way. I mean, yeah, technically they gave us travelers, so it's okay, but I just don't want to switch every single time between elements. I want to have one party and let it do the trick, right? Like with the Kuvaki exploration, it was very, very fucking easy because you could use any character as long as you were in proximity with the Kuvaki, like by proxy, right? And if you weren't, you could have just brought something. And like, for example, using Columbina would not change anything, right? Using the Traveler would not change anything. So that's really good. It's more about skill and not about the characters you have. And yes, I'm aware it's a gacha game. So at the end of the day, it's not necessarily like it's not necessarily that deep. That's the concept of the game, to get more characters, but I don't know. Like Nutcry felt like such a breath of fresh air. Also, Kazuha C6 doesn't apply to Stellar's world because it's only his normal plunge and charge attacks. Yes, but the animo from his normal and charged attacks, well, can be converted into Stellar using the Traveler. Or any other character that will support Stellar Glimmer reactions in the future. Right? Or am I not, like... Because if like, I used the Riesli, like, right? If I used the Riesli... Coldwing... Dude, listen. If I have... Shut the fuck up for a second. Okay, I'm gonna let you cook. You just got rid. Let's go. W's in the chat. I'm gonna spam you some W's. Let's go. Happy for you. Proud of you. Good job. Good job. Here, have a quote. Have a quote. I got the 671. Oh god. What happened? What is bro? What did you say, bro? What is bro? Am I bro? My blood pressure got so high that a little blood dripped from my nose. Oh shit. Oh god. Okay, relax. Calm down. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Go get yourself some paper, write that down, drink some water. That was too much for you. Bro went like an anime character, seeing his wife who just starting to get a nosebleed. I'm not 042 for Reen. Let's go. Let's go. Yippee! Gotta love that. Gotta love that, honestly. Let's continue with the live stream.
我们希望旅行者都能在至东的冒险当中，通过这些特殊的交互和反馈，收获到更多的乐趣。
是的，而且旅行者不仅能在至东解锁新的力量，在7.0版本的魔神任务中，还将获得一把风格独特的新。
Oh, so we're getting the weapon in the Archon quest. I told him is that. Also, that's a whole ass Primo Gem. That's a Primo Gem. I thought it was like an ice flake like these, but that's a Primo Gem. That's an actual like. They have primo gems like the oval like. Where are we able? Here we go. Wait, no, we gotta. Like, they have a primordial crystalline gem that is beyond the mundane world. But, like, technically, primo gems, like. That's not a real gem. Like, that's not a real object. Right? And yet, it exists right here. And don't tell me it's not the same thing. It's the same fucking thing. Accounted for what's the name? Lighting, right? And the differences between graphics, that's the exact same fucking thing. Like, come on. Yeah, but back to the C6 Kazuha, it will only affect his personal animal damage because Kazuha doesn't have a direct stellar swirl damage. Well, once again, if we're talking, for example, well, Risley is not the correct option, right? Because he does have specific buffs, right? But so let's say fucking Ayaka or Skirk. Okay, Skirk is a very bad example because she relies on freeze, right? But let's say Ayaka, okay? Fucking Ayaka. Ayaka, Fischl, or even let's go like a team without any fucking stellar, right? Ayaka, Ran Shogun, fucking Diona, and Sucrose, right? Even with Traveler on his team, he doesn't have direct stellar swirl, right? But the reactions themselves will be stellar because Traveler is on the team. So and like they said, and correct me if I'm wrong, the damage of the reactions will be mostly from the vortex that the reactions do, right? Like the stellar reaction summons a vortex. The more stellar reactions you do, the bigger the vortex and the better the explosion that it gets when it explodes, right? That's correct, right? Like, I know there's another input. I know like there's all the like most of the damage you'll do is from the stellar reaction that ignores the enemy defense and doesn't scale out of elemental damage bonus, but out of like EM and whatever stat the characters scale of, right? But I'm saying it's doable with the correct set, with the correct characters, and enough C6s. That'll be like an option. Right? And I can still use Yume Mizuki. I can use double cryo, double animo. Like, I'm pretty sure like if Snob would be a great stellar swirl. Like, probably because she has a fucking stellar linchpin, but like, you know. I don't know, I just feel like it's entirely possible.
武器，在至东的探索过程当中，旅行者每解锁一处七天神像，这把武器的力量都会得到提升。
大家也将逐渐了解到武器背后的故事和秘密哦。
啊，刚才聊了这么多东西啊，那接下来我们是不是该聊一聊这个国家至关重要的神明冰之女皇了？
哈，我们的旅行者呀，应该在蒙德冒险的时候就听到过这个名字了。关于女皇啊，我相信大家可能都有一肚子的问题想要问。
对。而且在之前啊，大家知道愚人众的执行官，对他的印象可以说是各不相同。比如说达达利亚，觉得他温柔又冷酷；阿蕾奇诺呢，则从他身上。
I kind of want to listen to all of the voice lines about the Tsaritsa now. Probably gonna do that. Okay, let me make my thoughts on this clear. Do not take my word as anything more than a suggestion. Yeah, I know, don't worry. I'm not gonna blame you for, I don't know, if like my account is bricked. Every decision I make is based on a lot of fucking like resources. Like it's you, it's Toast, it's Instagram, it's TikTok, it's guides on YouTube, it's other streamers, it's, you know, and also my experience, you know, like the way Hoyoverse handles characters, right? C6 Kazuha still is full team with off-fielders. Yeah, and also, like, I mean, I'm saying, like, I'm not saying I want to, like, C6 Kazuha just for Stellar Swirl. I'm saying that, like, it's another, like, reason, you know, like, he still will be more viable, like, without this, like, if he didn't have the Stellar Swirl reaction, it would have been a little bit iffy to C6 him, but now he, like, oh, look, it is usable on certain teams, but it's still usable. I've always wanted to C6 him. I knew that he would be my first ever C6, and I've known for quite some time that as soon as he reruns, I'm gonna C6 him. But it's been far too long since his rerun, and unfortunately I don't think he's gonna get reruns soon. I think he's gonna either go on a selector, is gonna go on a chronicle, or he's gonna go for a fucking Temper Thyself next year. I hope to God he's not gonna go to Temper Thyself, because that means I can only get him to C2 and that's it. And that's gonna suck ass, honestly. Okay, let's take a look at all the voice lines and on the Tsaritsa. Tsaritsa. Anastasia Fyodorovna Snežnaya, let's take a look.
When I was in prison...
Oh shit, I'm sorry. Oh wow, that's really loud. Sorry,
When I was imprisoned, it was the Tsaritsa who pardoned me and gave me the title of Harbinger. I could sense she was a person of true sincerity and compassion, unlike all those pompous hypocrites with their posturing and rhetoric. Yet, it's difficult to say whether her compassion alone is enough to melt the ice and snow that permeates her land. All I can say is this. If we are forced to be at odds one day, I will raise my weapon against her without hesitation. Because that is the greatest level of respect I am able to bestow.
Now, a lot of people have been thinking that this is like a threat or a foreshadowing about like what's gonna happen in Snezhna, but I don't think so, because the last line, because that's the greatest level of respect, right? I truly believe that that's not a foreshadowing. Let's say with C0R1 at death, C6 R1 Cryo MC. I mean, I'm gonna get him R5 if we're talking like the Primogem sword that we're getting. We're probably gonna be able to R5 it, and if not, like instead of the refinement, there's gonna be like the upgrades on the statue, right? So yeah, and a good last slot, he should get around 100k DPS, and that's way more than enough in my opinion. I mean, my Skirk team does around that, and that's a lot. My fucking, hold on, how much my Flint's team does again? 60k? That's nothing. No, my Flint's team does more than that. My Flint's does 150, right? Never mind that. It could do way more damage. I just don't find that I need it. Like, in theater, it does impeccably well. In fucking Abyss, it does great. The only place that might struggle is the fucking Stygian Onslaught. But in Stygian Onslaught, I cleared the Flint's team when it was meta really fast. It's just the other two teams I couldn't do. 120, fine, okay, 120. It's still like, it's usable. The only, like, I am at the cusp between clearing all endgame and only clearing all endgame besides like Stygian, and Stygian is incredibly hard on purpose. I mean, that's what I think. Like, I don't, like, there are two types of people. Unless you you actually actively start a Genshin account right now, today, right? Or like you started the Genshin as soon as Stygian released, and you only pulled for just the meta characters, and you saved the resin and did it incredibly fucking efficient, and you made everything surgical, right? That's the only way you could actually clear your dire, right? In Stygian, right? And I'm not mean I mean like the like Fearless is Fearless D4 or D5? I mean D5, D6. Like D5 is when you start to get the skins, right? I mean the skins, because these are like, this is the best reward. The skins, the weapon skins, right? The or either that or you just spent money on that. Yeah, Fearless / Dire. Because D4 is easy. It's just a matter of like execution and not having shitty builds. Because remember, I have decent builds on a very small amount of characters, and it's the fact that I wasted a lot of my resin. You know, I had like tens, like almost like I had dozens and dozens of fragile resins, like from years upon years that I didn't use it. But then when I realized, okay, I can use it, I just used it on characters that I don't use anymore, on sets that weren't even meta when I farmed them, and I did not know how they worked, and I kind of regret that, you know? This is why I always double check what I'm doing, unless it's like something that can be easily fixed. I'm always have like, okay, if next patch I'm able to get that exact same amount of resources or twice, I'll do it now, like without thinking. Okay, let's see what Columbina says.
The first time I sang in the gardens of Zapoliarny Palace, the Tsaritsa happened to pass by. She stood there, silent and motionless, like a statue with no expression carved onto the face. For a moment, I felt as if she wanted to say something to me, but she never did. She seals her emotions beneath thick sheets of ice. The outside world sees but one side of who she is, that of the Tsaritsa. If the answers I sought rest on the moon, perhaps hers lie buried in snow and ice.
It's so interesting to me knowing that, it's actually really interesting to me to see that Columbina is actually like the moon goddess. In a sense, she's more stronger and more important to the cosmos than the Tsaritsa. Tsaritsa is just a god, right? She has ambitions. After Tsaritsa gets her project and whatever the fuck, then they might be like in cahoots, right? But Columbina is stronger than the Tsaritsa, yet she speaks so highly of her. But in a sense of like, she can do it. Like, I believe in her. I don't know, just really interesting to me. Linz, what do you have to say about Tsaritsa?
Although Nodcry is technically a part of Snezhnaya, you won't hear us habitually refer to Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa. Who's us? The Lightkeepers, of course. Who else?
The Hyperboreans, you stupid pretentious bitch. Okay, let's just... Oh, that's a long one.
What's wrong with calling me Sandrone? Huh? My original name? So you really want to know. All right. I can still remember when I first opened my eyes. Ellen had just finished creating me. He called me Marionette. I tried to repeat it, to say it out loud myself, but I noticed something complicated in his expression. Only later did I come to understand what it was. A mixture of regret and guilt. He never called me that again. Anyway, after telling me the story of the Narsitzenkreuz Ordo and his sister, Ellen concluded by insisting that I was free to choose my own path in life. An important part of that, he said, was deciding on my own name. For my part, I told him I was perfectly fine with the one he'd given me. Marionette Guillotin. Pretty unique as names go, wouldn't you say? And yet, no doubt for different reasons, the Tsaritsa ended up making Marionette my title as a harbinger. Perhaps that was simply another so-called act of fate. Even I still get bothered by the errors in my heart. But Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa? How did she manage to freeze her emotions so completely?
Okay, so we see a pattern here. The Tsaritsa seals her emotions. I promise you, we are going to get a Tsaritsa crash out in Snezhnaya. Like an actual crash out.
Her Royal Highness, the Tsaritsa, is actually a gentle soul. Too gentle, in fact. And that's why she had to harden herself. Likewise, she declared war against the whole world only because she dreams of peace. And because she made an enemy of the world, I had the chance to become acquainted with you.
Interesting.
Bravo, comrade! Thanks to your help, I am one step closer to my goal of conquering the world. I doubt even the Tsaritsa herself ever expected I would make it this far.
To think that the Geo-Archon had signed a contract with the Cryo-Archon. I wonder what the contents of their agreement were.
Paimon doesn't care who you are. Making a deal with the Tsaritsa is super dangerous.
Be that as it may. Since Morax is the god who understands the basis of contracts the best, he's definitely given this some thought.
Well, that's true. Morax himself called it the contract to end all contracts.
I trust that we will witness the truth and its denouement play out.
Damn. Okay, we're gonna see Zhongli. We're going to see Zhongli in Snezhnaya. That's gonna be so fucking peak. Okay, last thing. Wanderer.
Everyone praises her for her kindness and benevolence. But they forget that love is also a form of sin. What if she's just trying to compensate for something?
Wanderer is being edgy as always. Okay, so that's what we know about Snezhnaya. Anastasia Fyodorovna Snezhnaya. Right? Yeah, let's keep watching. Alright, I forgot, let me just... yeah.
而桑东涅却说他彻底冻结了情感。那么女皇究竟是一个什么样的人呢？为什么会有那么
Why would so many talented and capable individuals will be willing to follow and pledge their loyalty to her?
多的能人志士都愿意追随并且效忠于他？啊，还有啊，女皇的计划到底是什么？我们
You guys know that, of course. Like, okay, chat. Question. Type 1 if you trust the Tsaritsa in the plan, and I mean trust her blindly, like the Fatui does, like no suspicions, nothing. Type 2 if you don't trust her at all, no matter what, and you truly believe that she is evil or like as bad as, say, the rest of the Fatui, the heavenly principles, the all the forces that are in play, right? And type 3 if you think that you would support the Tsaritsa, right? Until a certain point where sacrifices are beginning to be personal, and then you would not support her. Because I'm very interested to see how do people actually like react to that. I heard a lot of people like are having a bit of a tough time to understanding why people like agree with her or not agreeing with her. Three, she needs to leave my guide the fuck alone. It's not her, it's Ronova. You forget that? Three, I think that Tsaritsa is one of those the ends justify the means people. Wouldn't you then vote 1? You see, I'm very interested in that because you say the end end justifies the means, and yet you vote 3. That's not, of course, like to say your vote is wrong. Of course, I mean seriously, just like I'm just very curious. That's all. 3 I think is valid. 3 is the most valid one. 2 is also semi valid, I guess. But like, I don't know. I would also choose 3. Is it one that you trust her blindly? Yeah, like you don't care that there is a personal cost to it. Like the end justify the means, basically. I like her reasoning for what she does make sense. It's just that the only issue that could be had are like personal ethics or moral reasons. Exactly. And so it's very interesting to me how, like, at the end of the day, right? It's night. No, I'm kidding. At the end of the day, it's very it's very weird to me how her end goal is so unclear, and yet we know that it affects so much that the personal life, right, of every person, right, that chooses whether or not to support the Tsaritsa or to agree with her actions will be affected. So, right, oh, my personal life is being like affected by that. Okay, I'm gonna stop supporting her, even if the end goal will affect my life whether I want it or not. So in my head, I would probably support her either way, you know? Maybe trying to make the consequences on my personal life shorter or smaller. And yet, once again, we know that a lot of the Tivadians, like either Snezhnayans or anyone else in cahoots with Fatui or the Tsaritsa's plan, doesn't necessarily know about a lot of the things that we as the player know. I mean, fucking Ether doesn't know a lot of the things that we as the player know. Like fucking the entire conversation with Lumine, right, and bedtime story. Traveler, like Ether doesn't remember that. We remember that, right? Or the fucking what else? Fucking the conversation between Dottore and Nahida when Traveler was like asleep. Like again, that these are a lot of things that are like, okay, it depends on the perspective, you know, and the concept of reliable versus unreliable narrator. It's actually baffling how much he doesn't know. I agree that she seems like the kind of person that would make any sacrifice if it means reaching her goal or the ultimate goal, but I wouldn't trust her if the sacrifice gets personal. Interesting. I mean, yeah, that's really valid, but I'm trying to think about maybe if there's a character that has some personal sacrifices. And I'm thinking about Traveler. And there's Lumine. And then there's Paimon. Chat, I have a crack theory, but what if Lumine and Piero both went to Snezhnaya together, joined the Fatui, and then when Lumine realized one of the sacrifices were too personal, she left the Fatui and joined the Abyss Order? Because we know for a fact that she and Piero lived together in Conria for a while. So how about after she resigned, or I guess not resigned, stopped being like the queen of Conria, or the princess of Conria, she joined the Fatui, at least temporarily, you know? How about what if she was the 10th seat? And it was left vacant for so long because the Tsaritsa fucking knew that she has a twin brother that is still in coma. And that's why she says reach the end of your journey and you'll understand. maybe the sacrifice is so personal that one of them will have to stay here in stasis and the other one will be able to go to other worlds, but they will not be able to until they're both free. I think I kind of cracked that. Maybe that's why the 10th seat is so empty. Because we know for a fact that it's not about strength. The Fatui rankings are not about strength. They're about order. Damn, I think I kind of cracked that. Well, yeah, we remember that because the Traveler is a character in the game, but we're the ones metagaming and gathering more information, just what's presented to us. Yeah, I know, but like, you know, it's kind of like the game wants us to behave as if the Traveler is us, which is why they give us the quote-unquote options to like to tell people, or like name the Traveler, like your own name and stuff, right? And of course it's prevalent in all the games, like specifically in Honkai Star Rail, when the choices actually matter and they change the how characters react, even if it's a tiny bit thing, right? Still, I do think it's gonna play some sort of a difference.
大家一直说的消失的火神之心，它又在哪里？女皇会不会还跟其余的6神有其他联系呢？
等一下，这个问题有点多，我们慢慢来啊。
没错。
Okay, hold on, chat. I'm gonna go to a bathroom break. Let's take like a 10-minute break. I'm gonna make myself even some coffee, maybe. Meanwhile, I leave you with the tunes of lo-fi. See you in 10 minutes. Bye-bye! I have returned. Sorry for disappearing. I shouldn't have done that for a long time, but I kind of wanted some coke, so I took the elevator down. Remember how I told you guys I have a very technological building. So one of the perks that we have is the fact that we have this kind of like communal fridge. It's not really communal, it's just a fridge specifically for what's the name? God, for people who live in the apartment, right? So you would get in there, you would press a button, and then it'll ask you to show a code. So you have an app, we would show the QR code, and then the fridge will open, and you can take whatever you want, and it will charge you based on what you took, because it has cameras and pressure plates and stuff, right? There are only two small problems. Number one, it's the same shit over and over again. They're not like putting stuff in anything new. And the other part is like it's empty most of the time. They restock it once every like 2 weeks, and like the first week you still have some left. Like there's supposed to be like at least like a dozen bottles of Coca-Cola, right? But after like the first week, like you see this is the end of the first week, right? And there's only like what 3 bottles left there, and I'm like being I'm a privileged asshole. I get like I don't get my bottles of Coke, right? But I'm talking like there's some like basic ingredients there, like cheese, right? Or fucking milk, or stuff that needs to be refrigerated that are not restocked properly. So like, what's the point of having it if it's not restocked? I don't know, I just kind of find it not pretentious but annoying in a sense. But it's okay. It's not like there's an actual like shortage. I mean, there is, but I don't know. No thanks. I don't like Coke anymore. Coca-Cola, you stupid bitch. Okay, Tsaritsa. Let's start with the introduction of the Tsaritsa herself.
好的，冰之女皇安娜斯塔夏·费奥多罗夫娜·雪奈茨纳亚。
Oh, holy shit. Nastat. I know that this is how they say the name, right? But I don't care. It still sounds goofy.
她给人的第一印象就如同至东的气候，威严而凛冽。而作为至东的第2任冰神，她试图创造一个更加理想的世界，同时。
This is Boris Johnson's administration shaking my head. Coke being sold in apartment buildings. I don't know who Boris Johnson is. I'm just laughing because it's probably political. Who is Boris Johnson? Boris Johnson. Who is that? Oh, it's the UK PM, right? Okay, I remember him. I remember this bloke. Like, does Brexit mean I lose my passport? No, but it means you're entitled to a new blue passport. That's the only thing I actually remember him. A blue passport. He actually looks like if cocaine was a person. He's actually like, look at those eyes. He looks insane here. I don't know, I just have a very bad feeling about those eyes.
也是为了保证至东不会成为下一个坎瑞亚，下一个害破波瑞亚。
Speaking of Conrian's tragedy, the Tsaritsa herself should also have something of a personal grudge against the heavenly principles. What do you mean by that?
和千里应该也算是有一点私仇吧。
没错，可能旅行者们不曾想到呀，所有的坎瑞
That all Conrians are descendants of the Tsaritsa. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, and little raccoons. We got confirmation, and the entire lore has officially broke the fuck down. Cause what do you mean all Conrians are descendant of the Tsaritsa? What the fuck do you mean? 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 Dude, like, and they drop it like as a, oh yeah, by the way, all Conrians are descendants of the Cryo Archon. Like, what do you mean? The first, the second? Oh, the second. Oh yeah, that makes total sense because now the lore is fucking, oh my god. Like, dude. Can my dumbass just ask what the Tsaritsa is again? Tsaritsa is the Cryo Archon. The Tsaritsa, Conrian, Snezhnayans. You're like, but why? How? How the fuck? There isn't Conria. Like, they don't exist together. How can that even? How can that happen? How can that happen? How the fuck Conrians are descendants of a thing that didn't exist after the nation fell down? How does that make sense? That's a bootstrap paradox. It's literally another paradox. The entire game is a paradox after a paradox after a paradox. This should be named fucking Paradox Impact. Come on, dude. I'm just trying to play a game. I'm just trying to build the lore. It's Five Nights at Freddy's all over again. The timeline doesn't make any sense. I'm losing my mind and it's 3 a.m. and I'm trying to think about anime titties. Oh god, please, God help me. Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus help me. You need some explanations? Okay, let me explain something for you. Okay, let me just explain. You see this girl? Okay, this girl. Her name is Anastasia Fyodorovna Snezhnaya. Okay, she's the Cryo Archon. Archons, I'm sure you know what Archons mean. Archons are the gods of each region. So we got from Munchstein, we got Venti, we got Zhongli, we got Raiden A or Raiden Shogun, you got Nahida, you got Fosalors, or technically half of Arena, we got Mawika, and we got Anastasia Fyodorovna Snezhnaya, right? So, Animal Archon, Geo Archon, Electro Archon, Dendro Archon, Hydro Archon, Pyro Archon, Cryo Archon. Okay? Now, there was a nation without any gods. That nation is Conria. You want to know where Conria is? Well, I'm gonna show you, because it's actually in-game. If you go to Sumeru, into the Sumerian desert, right above here, right? And we go to this teleporter, right? Okay? Remember, we are underground, okay? Remember that. We are under a desert, in the middle of nowhere. We are underground. There's this... Alright, right. And then you go down, right? And then you go down again a lot, okay, right? And then you go down even more, right? Eventually, you reach a passage with an opening with a lot of debris on it, right? Am I in the correct place? Yes, I'm in the correct place. You glide over here, you pass all the debris, all the fires, right? And then in a very small creek, you would see a door. A door that leads to Conria. And once here, you get an achievement, right? You get an achievement called called Abandon All Hope. Ye who enter here, reach the end of the surface realms. Okay, so Convia was a special nation without a god, right? No archon, no ties to the heavenly principles, nothing. They were all slaughtered, dead. A genocide. A genocide doesn't even begin to explain it, right? And you know who killed them? You know who killed those? The same archons. This one, right? And all of these, all of those, specifically those, they were not there, okay? Their predecessors were. So while Venti was there and was killing people, Zhongli was there killing people. Her sister, her twin sister was here killing people. Her predecessor was there killing people. Her predecessor was there killing people. Her predecessor of predecessor of predecessor of predecessor of like a bunch of predecessors back was killing people, right? And then her grandfather, which was her predecessor, was killing people, right? All of that happened 500 years ago, okay? After all, and you know who else was in that nation? Our sibling, okay? For the sake of simplicity, I'm gonna say that Lumine was there because I chose Ether. If you chose Lumine as your playable character, then it just switch up the names, okay? So we as Ether have our sister there 500 years ago, okay? Living in Convia, becoming the princess of Convia. She was ruling the country, right? Country without a god, they had a king and a princess. The princess is her sister, okay? And they all died. And you want to know how it looks like? Oh, you want to know how it looks like? Oh, I'm going to show you how it looks like. Because guess what? When the game first launched, they showed us how it looks like. Okay? They showed us how it looks like. And you want to know why? Because they're fucking evil. That's why. 5 years ago. Almost 6 years ago. In 2020, bitch. This is how it looks like.
One day, this journey...
This is how it looks like, okay? We got lava, and we got Asmodee's cubes, and we got ruins, and we got a one girl, the princess of a dynasty that fell apart, mourning the loss of millions, I'm serious, millions of fucking people, which their only sin was to be born in a country without a god, slain by other gods. So now we come back to her. What does she has to do with anything? She wasn't there. She wasn't even born. She didn't exist technically, right? She didn't exist. So now these two Chinese gentlemen come up on the computer screen, right? And they are telling us, right? They have the balls to tell us that this woman right here somehow managed to birth all the people that were killed before she was even born. Or not born, she became a god. She is the predecessor of all Convians, and they make sure they say all. You see that word? A-double-L? All. That means the entirety of something. Okay? Now, I want you to look me in my yellow, high as fuck raccoon eyes and explain to me how the fuck that is possible. How can that be possible? How? Like, where is the logic? Logiko. Logiko wa doko desu ka? Got me speaking Japanese in a function. Because I don't believe, I don't understand. Can I be my mother's father? No. Then how the fuck? How? Okay. Let me collect myself because we're not gonna get an answer. We're not. We can only theorize an answer, which is why what we love. Basically, abandon all hope, you enter here is the inscription of the gates in hell in Dante's Inferno. Yes, it's a reference. It's not necessarily that Conria was hell. It's just Genshin has a lot of references in the achievements. A lot. Like almost every single achievement is either something related to the game or just like you see, quest clear, quest failed. There's one I remember when you first get the power of Electro in Inazuma, it's unlimited power, right? Unlimited power, right? There's a lot of memes there, so it's not necessarily like it's just like I mean, I guess too, it's to say like yo ho ho in a bottle of dandelion wine, you know? Deja vu, I'm just being displaced before, you know? Who let their dogs out? Knock knock, who's there? You know? What else? I am a cat named Neko, and Neko in Japanese is cat, you know? Davy Jones' locker, like, come on. These are funny references. So, having, like, they are mostly, like, most of them are kind of like pop culture references, as pop culture as it gets, you know. It's not really pop culture, but it's, you know, the alchemist steak, ha 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 ha, you know. What else is there? I have thousands of achievements. I have 1,300 achievements completed. That's insane. Rule of threes, you know, Fata Morgana. What does this button do, you know? What's the password? Yeah, these are mostly... I notice it's only in the Wonders of the World. You will not have a lot of those in the specific categories, you know? Not too much, at least. Most of them are like you see specific for the names. Anyway, again, Sen, thank you so much for explaining. But oh my god, yeah, sure. Explaining is what I do the best. But in Temple of Space Quest, we see hell. Is that Conria? No, it's not Conria. Up until now, we haven't been able to be specifically in Conria. We've only been able to either get some sort of a glimpse on it through like photos or some sort of domains, but it was never actually Conria. It was mostly like recreations based on memories or something along the lines, right? It's never something that is concretely Conria, and I think it's because they save it for Genshin Impact Part 2. And the what we see in the Temple of Space Quest is just the quest's name. It's not actually hell. It's a different plane of existence. It's the apathic interval. So if we get into the Temple of Space, this is the main. You see, it's Temple of Space, the main. But if we go right down here, this is the apathic interval, right? This is a subspace, right? Genshin Impact 3rd, exactly. Genshin Impact 3rd Part 2 or Part 1.5. I think that the name of the quest being Hell is just so like there's Part 1 Heaven and Part 2 Hell, just to kind of show you the differences between those the two atmospheres. Now notice that these cubes are the same cubes that went and destroyed Conria. So it is clear that Asmodee was the one doing most of it. And we know for a fact that Ronova was the one who bestowed the Curse of Immortality on the Conrians. But now it makes... like, you know, it makes a lot of sense, but it also makes absolutely no sense why this Tsaritsa has a grudge on the heavenly principles, right? Because like you do have like, I mean, if all of your descendants, right, got the curse of immortality or the curse of wilderness, right, and either turned into monsters or became like fucking immortal zombies that only seek power, revenge, or peace that they never find, I would also be mad as fuck. But like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would there even, like, why would they be your descendants, you know, in the first place? Hello. Anyway, that's some bullshit. Let's get back to the fucking... You know what? No, I'm not done yet. Because what do you mean? Let's read it. Let's read a little bit. Anastasia Fyodorovna Snezhnaya is the Kraya Archon of the Seven and the ruler of Snezhnaya. She succeeded the Bely Tsar, of course, after he died in the Cataclysm, what we saw in the trailer 500 years ago, but was quickly faced with rebellions, both from the humans of Port Bielovod... You say that in Russian? Belovodje. Belovodje. Okay. Port Belovodje and the Snowlit Fae. And the Snowlit Fae lords that refused to recognize her. The Tsaritsa established a Fatui under Pierro in response, directed them to surpass the rebellions, established the feudal Fae aristocracy, and organized the government under a new order. In the following centuries, she recruited powerful individuals from across Tivan and appointed them to leadership positions within the Fatui and the 11 Fatui Harbingers. With the aid of the Harbingers, she established Snezhnaya as the dominant power on the continent, intervening in other nations in pursuit of the final goal of overthrowing the heavenly principles. This culminated her recent projects of collecting gnosis of the Archons, 6 of the 7 now being in her possession. Cool. I want to see if they already updated thousands of years ago. Anastasia Fyodorovna had an unnamed son. Thousands. So she existed before becoming an Archon. Right? Like, here's the thing that I find a bit hard to understand, okay? Archon's physical form, or at least the form that they exist, they are not born. The only human Archon is Mawika and Shablanki and all the other Archons, right? And they are being born and they will die, but Archons will not. They will only erode, or until they get killed, or until they choose to kill themselves, like we saw with Furina. Furina became a human after that. Furina is human. She is no longer an Archon. So the question is, how Archons come into being? That's first. Do they just exist? Not really. They somehow being formed, right? Number 2, in what point do they know they're gods? Or are they just aware of that? You know? It is very weird to me, but okay, I'm guessing that it does make sense that both Anastasia and Bely Tsar existed together, but I'm pretty sure that they are both related family-wise. I'm pretty sure. Because at the end of the day, once again, it's very much related to Snegurochka and Ded Moroz. And Ded Moroz, I think Ded Moroz is the grandfather of Snegurochka, right? But at the same time, they confirmed that we're gonna have a world quest with Snegurochka's wedding. So they're basing a pivotal character on a Russian folklore character. But then they make an NPC with the same name as the one that is based on the... You see what I mean? It's kind of complicated. But I'm guessing if she existed thousands of years before that, I guess she would have... I guess that would also explain why the Bely Tsar wanted to create... Oh, wait, no, that explains a lot, actually. that explains why the Bielitsar wanted to create, because he wanted to have a nation for Anastasia, right? So he made Conria using Anastasia, and she birthed all of the Conrians, or at least when I'm saying birth all the Conrians, I'm not actually meaning she had sex with someone and they birthed like an entire nation. You know, I meant that they reproduced and they had like a lot, like it spread out and became country naturally, right? And I'm guessing that that unnamed son is the first Conrian kid. And honestly, that could have been Piero. That would be poetic, actually. Piero could have, might as well have been the first Conrian. Or was it Dainsleif? Could have been Dainsleif. Give me a sec. Give me a one teeny tiny second.
The motion to extend Project Student.
Ever
No, he doesn't have the same hair. He has the exact same eyes. Oh no, never mind. His pupils are smaller and not hollow. His are filled with white. Yeah, never mind. It could have been Pietro though, right? White hair. Light blue eyes, Conria shaped. The star is still too small. We absolutely... it's so interesting how we have no art of him, so we're just like... is that... No, that's also like a... Okay. No, so it's not him. But honestly, that would make sense because, like, he has, like, the most obvious Conrian eyes that I've seen. It's so big and like the pupil is white and big, and most of the Conrians, the more quote-unquote diluted they become, the smaller the Primogem shaped eye it is. Like look at Kaya, for example. But then why would Piero's eyes would be so small? Maybe because he's old, I'm not sure. I don't know, dude. No way that was Dane. Yeah, I kind of had a brain fart, but once again, that's kind of the part of the theorizing. Now, I don't have a female reproductive organs, but knowing how people how people who do feel about giving birth, I think it's reasonable to be pretty pissed if you give a kick up to entire nation. Yeah, I know. But remember, I upload this VOD to YouTube. Shout out to my YouTube, by the way. Same name on YouTube and TikTok, and the clips as well. So, you know for a fact somebody's gonna say, "Oh, she didn't actually birth the entire of Conria. You're stupid, and therefore your argument is invalid," because this is how the internet works. So. I still need to see the Tsaritsa bitch slap Renova exactly with the back side of the hand, so it'll be extra insulting. So yeah, wait, the timeline actually kind of makes sense if we take into consideration the fact that the Tsaritsa existed as something, right? I'm guessing as a Snowland Fae, because she has the Fae ears, as some sort of like a living being, right? A humanoid living being, right? Or a god, we don't know yet. Hopefully in relations to Bielitsar, not necessarily though, because we know for a fact now that it's not. Okay, whatever. And then they kind of reproduced, became Conria that we know today. Cataclysm happened. Bielitsar died, that Tsaritsa nowhere to be found during the Cataclysm. We don't know where she been, right? But we know for a fact that she was crowned somehow, right? By I guess that by the Heavenly Principles, I guess. And like both the Stolen Fae and the humans rebelled against her. So she was like, nah. And I mean, now I understand her, like the entire concept of burying your feelings under sheets of ice, because imagine once again, it would make much more sense if Bielitsar is family, you know? But even if not, I would still understand if a god is sending you, like an actual god of so many people, sends you into creating a nation without a god because it's supposed to be quote-unquote better, because all the nations with gods are under heavy rule, like under the thumb of the Heavenly Principles, right? And you create that nation becomes Khaenri'ah, and Khaenri'ah was prosperous. They had a king, they had dynasties, they had many genocides going on, but you know, they had Chemia, they had forbidden knowledge, they were incredibly technological, right? And then seeing all of that, right, gets destroyed, right? Partially by the same people you helped to create, but also by the same rules that made you create those people in the first place, right? So by both forces at play, imagine that. And then imagine that after it all ends and you realize that everyone is dead, and those who aren't dead either become monsters or empty immortal husks of themselves, right? The same people who made that happen approach you and was like, hey, so you're one of us now and you don't have a choice. I'm guessing she didn't have a choice, right? And then after you realize that, the humans and the Fae, right, from the nation of your predecessor are like, no, we don't want you here, we're gonna rebel against you, right? That would fuck up anybody. That's like some Neon Genesis Evangelion type shit. And it would hit much harder if Bielitsar was, in fact, Anastasia's father, grandfather, whatever the fuck. It would have made so much more sense. Right? It would have made so much more sense. So that made sense why she kind of like puts like all these barriers, especially emotionally, right? And she's a god with no love left for her people. Yeah, she's a god left, nor do they have any love left for her, right? That's a very, very valid and agreeable description. But that makes a few things. Number one, that means all the sinners know Anastasia as a somewhat convenient, right? Including Ainslif, Kaya, Naberius, the Rheindotil, Skirk, technically, since Sutology is her master and he probably talked about her. Not necessarily, but whatever. Let's keep reading this paragraph, and after that I'm not gonna read the entire, because that's a lot, right? This game got me fucked up because I have a golden companion spirit, but there's no quantum characters here. Just wait until the anniversary. Honestly, no, because I mean, you can wait. I'm saving those golden companion spirits. I have like 2 of them. I'm gonna wait until they're gonna add like someone who's worth doing. Maybe I'll actually get 2 Welt Eidolons now. Maybe. We'll see. I'm just waiting for like one character that they're going to add in the free shop. They're gonna E6 instantly. Anyway, let's go. Have an unnamed son. The fate of her son is unknown, but her descendants eventually became the Conrians. During the Cataclysm 500 years ago, she succeeded the Bielitsar as Cryarchon following his demise during his expedition, and was crowned Tsaritsa of all Snezhnaya. Due to yet unknown reasons, the Stolen Fey nobility, the followers of the Bielitsar, refused to recognize the Tsaritsa as their new ruler. So, the follower of the Bielitsar, the Stolen Fey nobility, I'm guessing it's because the Bielitsar was also Stolen Fey, which is why they followed him in the first place. But I think they just didn't view the Tsaritsa as a Stolen Fey. This is why they refused. Or maybe because the Cataclysm affected every single nation. Of course, negatively. There's not a single nation that was affected positively by the Cataclysm, hence why it was called a Cataclysm in the first place, right? I'm pretty sure that because of that, they kind of viewed the Tsaritsa as the main kind of like reason, or the perpetrator of, like, you know, it's the game of reasons. The game of reason is very easy to pass on because you can very easily like dial it all back, like, oh, Rheindotel shouldn't have released those monsters. Oh, they shouldn't have practiced Chemia. Oh, they shouldn't have made a nation without a god. Oh, Anastasia shouldn't have given birth to her child. You see how fast that goes back into like the way beginning. So I'm guessing that's how they view it, but maybe there's another reason. And that could very much be related to the third descender, right? So like the story from the Hymns of the Far North about Saralainen, the third descender, and yeah, and how the Gnosis were made in the first place. Which, again, how they kind of like started the Archon War, and what eventually led to the Cataclysm. Because without the Archon War, the Bielitsar wouldn't have wanted to create a nation without a god, and he wouldn't have sent Tsaritsa, Anastasia, I'm sorry, to do so, right? You see, it's the game of reason all over again. You try to find someone, and you can always find someone else before that person. That goes in real life as well. Don't find who to blame, find who can fix that, and it's probably you. Okay, anyway, if used to recognize Tsaritsa as a new ruler, some did not seek an audience with her, while others, such as the Delegrad clan, broke ties with Snezhnograd altogether. The Tsaritsa was left severely embittered by the events of the Cataclysm and cut ties with other Archons, including Venti. I don't know why she said specifically Venti. My guess it's because he mentioned that. I guess, I don't know. Shortly following the Cataclysm, she approved Salavier's proposal to establish the Lightkeepers and allow Notkrai to govern itself as an autonomous region within Snezhnaya, which is why Flins talks about the Tsaritsa the way he talks, and when he asks who is we, they mean the Lightkeepers, because technically he does mean the Stolen Fey, because he's a Stolen Fey, but he keeps his identity a secret, which is a very nice touch of lore. Let's keep reading. No, we kind of know what happens then. Yeah, it's all specifically the... Shortly before the start of Traveler's Journey, the Tsaritsa launched her plan to collect all the Gnosis of the 6 Archons. Piero then held a meeting with the Harbingers in which he outlined the details of the plan to them on her behalf. Okay, yeah, the contract with right, the fucking contract to end contract, Scaramouche, Dottore, Arlecchino, Capitano. During a meeting between 3 of the 4 shades discussing the missing whereabouts of Asmodee, Renova sensed Piero defiantly gazing upon her, quips that Tsaritsa trying to overthrow the Heavenly Principles with her partially powers, and suggested that the shades intervene within the extent permitted by the rules. Meanwhile, Piero makes his way to Nasha Town, where he declares on behalf of the Tsaritsa that even the gods have their limits. Okay, whatever's happened in Columbina, whatever happens with the region of all 3 moons, rogue behavior of Dottore. And right now, before the events of the Snezhnaya in 2026, the Tsaritsa is currently overseeing a massive plan known as Project Studra. While its details are unknown, it is connected to the concept or thing known as a mistletoe. Right. So keep your eyes peeled about for that word, basically. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Let's keep going.
都是女皇的后裔。
哎，等等，小罗哈，我只是说悲剧啊！你刚才是不是很自然的说出了一句很惊人的话？
我觉得大家早早晚晚都会猜出来的。
I think travelers will figure it out sooner or later, which is interesting that they said now because that might have meant that there was. It means that there might have been clues scattered in the past. At least clues that will make sense only after we finish the game or something. I don't know.
好，那既然啊，现在大家知道有这样的一层渊源在啊，就更能体会女皇的感受了。但要与天理对抗，这注定是很艰难的。
是啊，一场漫长的暴风雪。
This prolonged snowstorm has only worsened Snezhnaya's already dire energy reserves. Yeah, that makes sense.
让至东本就严峻的能源储量雪上加霜，社会各阶层的问题也接踵而至。而女皇此刻正在远方。
Meanwhile, the Tsaritsa herself is far from home, leading the campaign against the monster responsible for this catastrophe. Ooh?
亲自讨伐，引发这场灾厄的魔物。
Oh yeah, so she's actually not in Snezhnaya, so we're not gonna see her first.
没有女皇坐镇的至东堡会发生什么样的故事呢？
That is actually so hot, but the differences between the models is killing me. Please, just redo Child's model. Please, just overhaul them. You don't even have to overhaul the entirety of the 1.0. Just like overhaul the one in the story. Do it slowly. Please, I beg you. This is actually like... this is like the before and after of the plastic surgery.
各位旅行者可以在 7.0 版本的魔神任务第7章第1幕无神怜爱的。
So my kind of like guess that what's gonna happen, send Child to the Shadow Realm. Oh, he's gonna have a field day. He's gonna have a fucking field day with the guns. Machine gun Child, basically. Oh, that's gonna be hilarious. I can already see all the memes. Basically, my kind of prediction, Act 1 without Tsaritsa, end of Act 1, Pierro, beginning of Act 2, Pierro, middle of Act, or maybe even end of Act 2, Tsaritsa, cliffhanger, wait to next batch. That's what I'm thinking. This is exactly how I'm thinking.
雪国与第二，
相信最近啊，也有很多刚刚回到提瓦特的旅行者，担心没有办法立刻了解至东的现状。
Of course, you're gonna be able to. Yeah, no, don't.
带塔，还有旅行者对他都非常。
之前反而觉得他更像是一位刺客。
没错，奥黛塔就像舞剧中的黑白天鹅。
Black Swan and White Swan. Okay, a famed Snezhnayan ballerina who blossoms against the frozen landscape with her beauty's sharp as frost. Remember, no Snezhnayan. Okay, when Odetta is in a party, any superconductor cryo swirl reaction triggered by the party is converted into stellar conduct or stellar swirl, respectively. She also boosts the entire party's stellar glimmer damage. I made this joke before, but I'm not stopping. It's okay, don't stop. It's funny. It's funny in the correct way.
前她是优雅美丽的舞者，而在幕后，她也是一名敏捷干练的愚人众成员。
是的，她也是愚人众的一员。
She's also a member of the Fatui. Yeah, I know.
或许会
Okay.
在月之8版本
They kind of confirmed it.
她其实和愚人众的第8席女士罗。
Oh, she has a connection with Signora. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, Signora Crumbs.
沙琳有一些关系。
奥黛塔是女士很器重的部下，罗莎琳对她期望不小，当然要求也很高。因此，在奥黛塔的成长过程中，她既接受着愚人众的严格特训，又在不断地精进着自己的芭蕾舞技。在这种日复一日的刻苦训练中啊，她逐渐感受不到疼痛了。
Chat. I think I heard Vadenitsa's song playing in the background. Hold on. Listen to it carefully. I'm gonna make it slightly louder. Listen, it's like they have the song like Город, что мне приходил во сне。
他既接受着愚人众的严格特训，又在不断的精进着自己的芭蕾舞技。在这种日复一日的刻苦训练中啊，他逐渐感受不到疼痛了。
哇，这旁人听上去啊
Like, did you hear that? Right, listen to it
感觉
again.
这个有
啊，因此在奥黛塔的成长过程中，他既接受着愚人众的严格特训，又在不断的精进着自己的芭蕾舞技。在这种日复一日的刻苦训练中啊，他逐渐感受不到疼痛了。
哇，这旁人听上去啊，感觉这个
Right? It's so weird because it's supposed to be, isn't that supposed to be like Vodenice's song and not Odeta's song? That's weird.
这个有点可怜啊。
That's
但是
lesbian.
奥黛塔她自己并不这么想。奥黛塔的性格是非常的执着和要强的，正是因为有这样的性格特点啊，再加上舞者轻巧的身形，让她的战斗风格非常的锋利、敏捷，并
I can kind of hear it. Yeah, it would have been better if you watched it on you. Like go to the live stream and check it because I'm pretty sure that it does. Maybe it's just like the coincidence that is like the backing track, but I don't think so. Okay, when Odetta is in a party, yes, we know that. Okay, Odetta summons her solo dense double, which periodically deals stellar glimmer damage while boosting the party's stellar glimmer damage. So I'm guessing it depends on the party members, if it's going to be conduct or swirl, right? Additionally, after using her skill, she can team up with the reflection to unleash a special follow-up attack that deals massive stellar glimmer damage. And her passive is local specialties. Okay, cool.
并且能够随机应战。
Okay, so I'm gonna skip it
此外呢，
since we know. Wait, I want to see the follow-up attack. Wait.
进行在战斗当中，奥黛塔呈现柔缓的舞步，唤出独舞倒影，协助队友进行。
So technically, she can be like, I don't understand why people like is the but then again, if you look for something somewhere, you're probably gonna find it. And you were constantly talking about her song last stream, so you might be on bath salts. No, I promise you, it's back there. It's back there. You know what? Try to focus, okay? Try to focus. Listen to it real quick, okay? Wait, I'm gonna pause the music. I'm gonna make it loud, so like, wait, where's the music? Here we go.
愚人众的严格特训，又在不断的精进着自己的芭蕾舞技。在这种日复一日的刻苦训练中啊，他逐渐感受不到疼痛了。
哇，这旁人听上去啊。
You heard that? It was like da, 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 and then it switches to her like dancing in front of the frozen palace, and then it goes da 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 da. Stop saying I'm on bath salts though. Then I'm not on bath salts. I'm on Monster Energy and Coke, not that type of Coke. Anyway. I need your help with something, Ian. If her skill is like her shadow that does periodic stellar damage, and that means that she's an off-field, right? But then you said that she's an on-field, so does that mean that the follow-up attack when she's on-field is really that much stronger than her off-field? And with that being said, can I build her as an on-field, right? For like, I don't know, like endgame, but then use that same build as an off-field for any other character that I might choose. Never said. Wait, weren't you the one saying she's an on-field? Who was saying that she's an on-field DPS? Anyway, she sounds like a very flexible character.
倒影的造型啊，看上去就很冰冷锐利。
独舞倒影可以间歇性造成强力的心受反应伤害。此外呢，还可以为队伍中所有的成员提供心受反应增伤加成。
How much is her buff, like percentage-wise? Speaking of.
当然，奥黛塔自己也能上场输出。当她再次释放元素战技时，就能与独舞倒影携手共舞，释放特殊的元素战技。
Okay, her fucking follow-up is actually insane. So you can't just swap in and press the skill again. It doesn't matter.
不愧是我们首席芭蕾舞。
She can like be both. I said Stellar Conduct CMC was an on-fielder. Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
舞者的身
And her ult is just like big PP damage, right?
黑白天鹅的奥黛塔同时发起攻击，
Okay.
对敌人造成多段伤害。
同样的姿态，一面持剑，一面起舞，就是两
Okay, I love her. I think I'm gonna pull on her.
种不同的感觉呢。
Also, I'm probably gonna need some Alyosha constellations. So yeah.
那鸡哥啊，在战斗之外，我们有
也是奥黛塔欣赏下初来乍到，不过雪国
Okay, let's take a look at Alyosha.
没错，咱们二楼下就是位靠谱的。
A professional hunter and master of Snezhnayan snowfields, a fierce, distinct idealism burns beneath his calm demeanor. Alyosha deals off-field electro damage and provides healing to the party. Ooh, healing. Nice, we got a male healer after quite some time. While inside Pulsar Field, he can boost active characters' attack and still... Bro, he is actually just Electro Chevy. He's half Chevy, half Bennett, because it's inside the postal field. But no one can dethrone Bennett. Like, dude, actually, just slap a fucking, like, Noblesse on him. I should farm Noblesse. You're right, yeah, I should have farmed Noblesse.
伙伴。不过雪国边境，
在优秀的猎人眼中。
Yeah, healing. So if you want to run him with the Stealth Cryo, keep him on level 1 weapon and flower. Oh my god. Come on. Okay, so off-field, electro, healing within postal fields, and extra attack and specifically stellar conduct damage. May make sense, he's electro, so... Okay. Hunter's Mark. Alyosha stresses companion Tugarian will prioritize opponents affected by his Hunter's Mark. Activating the mark grants the party an attack bonus, and doing so within a pulsar field also increases the party's stellar conduct damage. So he's a buffer. You know? While Alyosha is in a party, nearby station and local specialties will be marked. Honestly, solid characters. That's like half of a good team, you know? That sounds really nice. I like it. Professional hunter Stellar Rio. Honestly, Stellar Rio, I mean, he got a buff, so... And and Rio also got a fucking constellation in the to temper thyself. So wait, what does he see? What the fuck does his C1 do? Hold on. What does the C1 do? Is the C1 good? Oh, that's a lot of fucking... so gotta read it later. Hold on. Hello, Masaru. Bonjour. How you doing? Is that that's a cucumber? That's an elite ball reference. I think the only people who know what that cucumber means is Olive, Lumi, Ian, and Ku. I think that's it. Yeah, but healing fucks Cryo Rio over, so here's what I said earlier. Yeah, I know. I'm probably not gonna put him on Ryo and Ryo Daddy. I'm probably gonna put him with Sandrone or like Sandrone, Odetta, like, you know, Cryo MC. It's a cucumber, and disrespect towards the cucumber will not be tolerated. Honestly, yeah. Actually, yeah. Valid. That's a valid crash out. I will respect cucumber, and we shall respect you, Masaru. Okay, let's read what this fuck-ass constellation does. Okay, when reaches HP is less than 60% while he's in a chilling penalty state caused by his skill, when the fifth attack of the normal attack hits, it will create a gracious rebuke once every 2.5 seconds. Okay, and ooh, extra 200% bonus, damage bonus, great. When it hits while Risley is in the chilling penalty state, that duration is extended by 4 seconds, so extra 4 seconds and more damage. Stellar Conduct. When Vaulting Fist attacks an opponent, the next fifth attack of the Repelling Fist, enhanced by chill penalty, that hits an opponent within 5 seconds deals 3% increased Stellar Conduct. So basically more stellar conduct damage. Okay, cool. Cool. So extra constellation will always be good, you know? Also, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to. How much time? Yeah, no. Yeah, unfortunately, I would not be able to get Chi-Chi. But you know what? I don't care. We get more characters, and I'll probably be able to get Chi-Chi anyway, like in the next one. So, like, it's not like I'm gonna have more characters. I'll have Chi-Chi, and that's it. Like, but then I'll take a look at the characters again, like, soon. So. So yeah, we don't need to see it. What else? Nice. So it can be invited while progressing through. I'm guessing through the beginning of the quest.
我觉得还是等阿罗莎他自己的朋友们啊。好的，好的，好的。那在超越 PV 当中
In the Trishans trailer, we believe we've seen many faces, right?
比如呀，克洛列夫茨基剧院内就有2位关系很好的明星人物。
Right, we saw Odetta, we've seen Vajednica. Right, they're idols. People love them. Mitya from the Royal Energy Commission. Interesting. Royal Energy Commission.
能源协会的科学家也有空看865跟歌剧吗？
其实啊，他主要是来找灵感，只是很可惜，每次他出来看演出，还会被军血宫的瓦列里少校抓个正着。
So Valide from the Armory Palace. Wait, don't tell me. Sandrone. Sandrone is the manager of the Armory Palace, as we discovered in the beginning of the live stream. So technically, Valide answers to Sandrone, and Mitya answers to Mage Valide. Okay.
回去上班。
哎，看起来这剧院里有这么多人，是不是要上演一出很有意思的戏码？
哎，这个我们小心一点，不要剧透哦。
好的，好的，我懂。
No spoilers, and you drop the biggest lore bomb in the fucking century on us, like it's a fucking Tuesday night.
那剧院的精彩戏目确实需要保持一些悬念，但我们现在可以跟大家分享的是，有一些志同的朋友的确。
That some of our friends from Destination will indeed come to the theater to watch Odetta's performance. So yeah, we're gonna get some like traveler's tales type shit in the thing. Okay.
剧院看奥黛塔的演出。
没错，就像我们在《至东幕后故事》当中说的那样，我们希望更多的内容啊，可以被设计成被玩家更自然的体验到的形式。他们的身份、性格、他们的遗憾、他们的小心思和烦恼，在丰富的演出之外，还应该在日常的游玩当中得到更多的体现。相信很多旅行者还记得啊，在《空月之歌》版本当中，我们能够了解到菲林斯、雅克达这些角色的生活剪影。
而在7.0版本的剧所任务里啊，各位旅行者甚至还能走进奥黛塔的生活。
So this is the part that makes it more complicated. So this is the meeting point specifically for Odetta, right? So that becomes her part of day-to-day life. That now the question I have is it actually gonna be real life? Because they can just time gate it for real life, right? So you would have to log in on each and every day and choose what to do, or you can plan everything ahead, right? Depending on the amount of like sigils you have.
亲自为他规划日程。
Oh no, it looks like you have a week until you finish assignment number 1. You can see it because chat is kind of like, hold on, let me try to. I cut it off. Oops. Sorry, my bad. But it says days until assessment number 1, 6 days. Oh wait, no, so that might actually be. Honestly, I'm probably gonna have to, like, I don't know, dude. The first version of Snezhnaya only gives us 3 constellations for CMC, so don't have high expectations. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I think 3 constellations is more than enough, especially considering the fact that, you know, a lot of us is gonna get like Odetta. A lot of us already have Sandrone, right? I don't really have high expectations. How much? Like what? It's gonna be like 50k DPS, 75 if you truly build all of them. So you have 100. It cuts off over there, but you have 100 of these, right? That's the stamina, right? So you need enough points for self-identity that you get from doing something like monster hunting, which is violence, right? But then you can also need enough for the external recognition, right? So it's Fatui versus crowd. So fan meeting will get you more crowd points. Fighting will get you more Fatui points. Dance rehearsals alone would get you a little bit out of both. All of them will cost stamina, but R&R, rest and relaxation, would waste a day, but would get you the stamina back. That seems actually simple enough. The question is, how much points do you need to pass the examination, or does it change every day?
不过要给奥黛塔规划日程，看起来还是有些挑战的。
是的，毕竟他既是芭蕾舞者，又是冤种的成员，旅行者可能要面临很多平衡和抉择了。大家是希望安排他排练。
Oh, so you can only do one per day, right? And you have 7 days until the. Oh, okay, that's actually really cool.
是执行项目寻找的任务，是想让他外出放松，还是举行粉丝见面会去提高人气？根据旅行者不同的安排和选择。
Yeah, so you can actually. So yeah, it is Umamasuma. So you kind of just have to plan everything. And you probably get a little bit of lore about her while you do that. Cool.
奥黛塔的故事也会有不同的展开哦。
也欢迎大家多多尝试，看看都会发生什么有趣的事件。
而在阿罗夏的剧所故事中，旅行者
Okay, so let's see about her Alyosha's meeting point.
一起调查一桩危险的团伙案件。
完成这个任务还会有额外的收获。
这个任务中发现了一张特殊的权限卡，至于这张卡具体能解锁什么，就留给大家在游戏里寻找答案吧。而在我们剧院的首席。
So Alyosha's one is booty cheeks. Cool, got it. Okay, let's see. Oh, we already know what does it get? Okay, cool. C3 Cryo Traveler's energy regen, 120 EM and burst levels, so not really. I mean, these are very standard. 4 to 6 is personal damage skill and 40% stellar glimmer damage bonus. So C6 is the best one, obviously. I'm guessing we're gonna get C2. I'm sorry, C4, 5, and 6. Are we gonna get all three? Like, no, I think we're gonna try it out. I think we're gonna get C6, like the 6 on 7.2, right? Or not? Honestly, I don't know. I don't really care. Because by the time we get like C6, it's either gonna be like a 7.1, which is okay, sure, cool, or it's gonna be like 7.2 on onwards, and then we're gonna have like other Snezhnaya characters like fucking Tsaritsa. Honestly, that makes sense if we get the Tsaritsa and C6 Traveler in the same patch. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get what's her name? Adleta, and then I'm probably gonna save. I swear to God, if they are rerunning Kazuha and Tsaritsa on the same fucking patch, I'm actually breaking someone. I'm opening up an OnlyFans. I'm not even joking. I need money so bad, dude. So this is the one with yeah, with the animals. Okay, cool.
热心的维尔妮莎拉上了奥黛塔和阿罗夏共同帮忙，希望让这座车站重新运作起来。
当3位角色的剧组达到一定等级后，就会开启这条全新的故事线了。
是的，我们希望能让大家感受到，你不仅仅是在吉瓦特大陆旅行，更是在这里与一群鲜活的人共同生活，共同书写彼此的故事。而在未来，我们也会慢慢接触到其他的职东角色的生活，甚至是那位看起来遥不可及的冰之女皇。
Wait, what did you say? We will also gradually delve into the lives of other Snezhnaya characters. Even the Tsaritsa herself, who seems to be much out of the reach at the moment. Ooh. Along with the commander of the Druzhna. So I'm pretty sure that the... Okay, so we got Adleta, Alyosha, Vodyanitsa. Then we're gonna have Tsaritsa, Vesna, and either Danica or Valerie or Mitya. Right? Because we will only get like 5 or 6 meeting points. Not gonna get more than that. There's no reason for us. You asked earlier what buff Aldeta gives. She gives 14% true stellar multiplier and up to 80 stellar glimmer bonus from what we know right now. Holy shit! That's a lot. And that's C6? Or C0? Hopefully that's C0. Because if so, whew, power creep better go crazy. Oh, Danica. So they said Danica, okay. So it's Tsaritsa, Danica, and Visna. So only one male character that actually has a... Okay, cool.
哎，这两位应该就是女皇陛下的左膀右臂了吧？
的确，他们作为左膀右臂，常伴女皇身侧。只是这左膀和这右臂，他们会不会相互看起来，我就不好说了。另外，还有来自遥远时代的神秘妖精诺伊。
Yeah, there's also Noi. It's kind of forgotten.
在后续的版本
I truly have a feeling that he's gonna have something about, like, the Tsaritsa's past. Promise you. In upcoming versions, travelers will gradually get to know them. Okay, cool. Hopefully the Noi will actually be interesting and not as disappointing as people say it's gonna be. Yes, he's hero and the Stellar Swirl support set kit. Ooh, right. Okay, event wishes we know. Everybody knows. We don't need to know that. 4-star craftables. I don't think I even have all the current 4-star craftables. Yeah, I don't think I have like Nutcracker craftables. Oh no, I have Nutcracker craftables. I don't think I have Fontaine craftables. I need to make sure I have all of them. And battle pass weapons. That looks cool. It looks like this is an odd one out because you see all of them have this kind of like warmer tones. This one has like a very cold tone. Wait, I guess maybe the bow, but that's like pinkish. So yeah. Okay, let's see. We got Scarlet Proof, which is probably gonna be for who? Unreleased character, perhaps? I don't know. Doesn't look like anyone that can use it right now. Hearts of the Furnace looks like it could be Mitya's, but like it's obviously for Aldeta right now. Even though it doesn't look like hers. You know, usually when a character drops, it's like the artifacts that is made for them, but because it's a new region, I'm guessing that they're just, you know, they're gonna do it differently. But Attack, Boost, and Stellar Glimmer is obviously the set that you're talking about, Ian, right? And not the crit rate and Stellar Swirl, because Glimmer is better than, like, is for both the Stellar Conduct and the Swirl.
炉火熔炼之心也会在版本开放之后更新。七哥啊，介绍了这么多内容，不妨让旅行者们休息一会儿，看一段短片吧。大家就休息一下，后续还会有开发组的同学为大家带来至东生态玩法相关的情报，
请大家不要走开哦。
Okay, y'all, that was most of the gameplay. I mean, I'm not gonna go into that gameplay over there because it's not really relevant. There's no lore over here. Let's take a look real quick about the... Okay, cool. Okay, so there isn't any other main kind of like thing, right? New weapon skins, new quality of life, a little bit of events. The map is very weird. So we got, this is how the meeting point would probably look like, right? The plains look huge, like that's a very big icy plain. Oh shit, wait, there is a fog on in here. Is there gonna be like a mechanic, kind of like Tsurumi Island, where you gotta dispel the fog using the Kresnik torch? I have a feeling that that's what's gonna happen, and if so, I hope to God they're gonna make it easier.
地图标记的数量上限，冒险的标。接下来我们将在场，也就是和线。
Okay, we get new stuff. That's nice. I'm gonna probably like we're gonna read the descriptions when it comes out, right? Okay, they're adding a lot of fucking characters. So wait, Aldette also has a passive where she gains 4 stacks of 15% stellar glimmer damage bonus and gives 1 attack to the on-field characters for every 1 second she's off-field. So only 4 seconds. Wait, how long does the buff last? So she needs to be... How does she gain the stacks as well? Let's say she does something to gain the stacks. I'm guessing like instances of stellar glimmer damage, I'm guessing, right? And then and then switch off to like another character, and then 4 seconds they're gonna have 60% stellar glimmer damage bonus, right? But for how long does that bonus last? Because if it lasts only for 1 second as well, so it's just 15% stellar glimmer damage bonus for 4 seconds. But how much can you do in 4 seconds? I mean, you can do a lot, but like, you know, it's like usually it's more. She gets 4 stacks when the dance double is summoned and lasts until the dance double expires or is resummoned. Oh. So we can actually just tap E, switch to character, gain stacks. You can do a lot in 4 seconds. Yeah, true. You know what? True. Okay, let's take a look at the new characters. So down here are all the old characters we had. From them, I got my Shenhe Khan, I got my Ganyu Khan. Who else did I get? Honestly, just Shenhe, right? And Hu Tao, right? I got my Hu Tao. So all the Live bitches. I tried to get my Chi-Chi, didn't work. Doesn't really matter. I don't use her that much that I specifically need the res, right? But a lot of other characters, right? And you can get a free C2 Yumi Globe. So I'm trying to hear you bitch about building her now. C2 you said? C2? Where is it? C2 you said? C1, bitch. Oh, you gotta pick her on the anniversary. I don't know if they're gonna add someone else in the anniversary. Got me fucked up. I'm kidding. I'm probably gonna... Yeah, I'm actually probably gonna get her. Probably. Not trying to impress anyone, probably gonna get it in the anniversary, but like, you know, gonna have a whole patch with her not being C2. She's an off-field animo, right? Off-field animo, right? Do you really think they're gonna add a standard character in 2 months? I don't mind, yeah, I'm pretty sure they could have added, like, they could add like a 5-star, like a new character, like Ferrier or something, I don't know. On-field animo? Fuck, no, I don't want her. Her playstyle is so fucking trash. She just stays there and floats and does animo damage. Motherfuck. So she uses the other set, right? Oh god, okay. Fine. At least she fucking heals as well, so I don't have to get a healer. So we're gonna get Mizuki-Con, but before we get the Mizuki-Con, I'll get a Risley-Con before anything else, right? Because fuck you, that's why. So we're gonna get 2 constellations. And then I don't really have anyone else. Gonna get a fucking, I don't know, Chi-Chi constellation if nothing else will do. Right? And honestly, if I'm gonna have another character, I'm gonna try to get like Mona or something, even though I don't use her. But yeah.
将在现在可选角色的基础上加入更多的角色了。
这次又有不少角色呀，没错，我看还有一些获得了魔女密室的角色也加入了可选范围。
是的，是的。那就像去年我们说过的那样，旅行者们的一举一动都会被这个世界铭记，并且和你共鸣。
I don't know, like I feel like they could have reset that and it'd be much better.
旅行者们一样，都已经迫不及待的想看一看今年的交响乐现场了。看看这次 Hoyo Mix 的同学们会给旅行者们带来。
Right, and we already seen all of this. Oh wow, that's a big part of the. Wow, okay. Slavic musical style, yes we know. Oh no, this character does supposed to do. I know, I'm just a hater. I'm just a mindless hater. Don't mind me. I like to get C1 real before that because of how important his C1 is. Yeah, I know. Miliastra, fuck off. And that's it. Damn. That's it. That's honestly pretty nice. That's a pretty nice, like, update overall. I will say they are heavily relying on the lore. And I mean, I like it, finally. I mean, think about it. Like, they made an entire detour, like a year's worth of detour, just so everybody would be on the same page. Right? Make sure, like, we have an understanding, because people can't fucking read. And then, like, started dove headfirst into that. And honestly, I'm so glad that they did that, because imagine we went into Snezhnaya, and let's imagine everything stayed exactly the same. Designs, music, timing, every piece of dialogue and everything. That wouldn't have hit that hard if there wasn't the Nutcry quest with Columbina, or whatever the fuck. Because now that I think of it, how the fuck we would have gotten Columbina and her story without Nutcry, right? Or like, I don't know, fucking. I don't think relying on moral, just more dispatch. The gameplay itself is basically the Nutcry formula again. Exactly. Like what I'm saying is they're not renovating anything. They're not reinventing the wheel, right? Because I think we kind of got I specifically got used to every August getting like this brand new wave of gameplay. Underwater exploration in Fontaine, and then the Saurian gameplay in Natlan. Then suddenly, instead of getting something new, we kind of got the, you know, the Kuhenki gameplay and Nutcry, and then it was much more graduate towards what we have right now in Snezhnaya. So I do feel like if a person doesn't care about the lore of this game, they do have much less things to do in this patch. Which is why, like, for me, it's one of the best patches, probably. Right? So much content. I don't know about the rewards. I don't think I'm gonna get tired doing anything in this patch, especially not streaming wise, because a lot of the times like, what will I do? Will I start a new quest? Nah, I don't. I will not start a quest on stream, because, you know, like, you know, I don't know. Yeah, because they're already made wheels. Exactly. That's that's valid. I'm gonna play a game after this. I think so. I don't know. I'm gonna ask you guys what do you think, because we have a few options. Number one, we can continue the Fate collab, but I don't know how much I want that, because that means I'm gonna have to read a lot of the text of Rin and all the others. On the other hand, I hear that's really good, and I really want to get Sparksy. On the other hand, there's Zelda Zone Zero with their anniversary, and I just got Ramiel and her W engine, and I really want her Bang Boo, because I just got the strongest unit in a fucking game, and there's the story, right? So that's just that's your choice. You know what, chat, if there's anyone here, press 1. I'm gonna wait for a sec because I know I have a delay. Press 1 if you're here and you're gonna keep watching and you want to choose what game we're gonna play. Okay, so we got Ian, we got Margit, we got a new chatter. Hi Tram Bliss and Masato. How you doing? Hi Tram Bliss, how you doing? Mind me calling you Bliss? Hi, I'm Goldwing. I'm a raccoon and I'm sitting on a trash can and I spent the last almost 4 hours over analyzing about, it's not an hour worth of content because like the first 5 minutes we already did. We skip a bunch of all the events, and I'm gonna guess like half an hour. I'm gonna spend 4 hours over analyzing. No, actually more than 4. I'm gonna say 6 hours over analyzing 30 minutes of a trailer and stuff. So yeah. Okay, great. People are here. So great to see you guys. Let's make a poll and also switch the music, switch the lo-fi, because fuck the lo-fi. I don't care about the lo-fi. Let's do some metal. Let's go. Blood and Money by Poppy. Let's go.